Hello, everybody. It's me, Kismet. How you doing this morning? I see you in the chat, Subi and Rob. Thanks for hanging out and Dragon Overlord chilling out in the stream this morning. Now, we might have a shorter stream today. We're going to get into it. We're going to have some fun. Now, we're going to play for the very first time because everybody keeps saying, Kismet, you should play this game. You should play this game. I watch people play. It's very, very fun. But we actually got it gifted, so I'm going to check it out today, and that is the awesome, the genre setting game called Factorio. We're going to check that out after some Satisfactory. Now, we've been finishing up our turbo motors, so we want to kind of finish those up and get our kind of high-end stuff rocking and rolling here in Satisfactory. Of course, we're going to play some Stream Raiders as well. Now, I do have some stuff going on around my house, so if I do have to cut out either early or I have to AFK, just be aware of that. I'm going to be working around it as best I can today. So let's hope everything works out and everything runs smoothly, or if I suddenly go offline, you know why. So good morning, everybody. Been out running around all over yesterday, not feeling so hot today, but we're going to try to get it fired up. Got this darn cough that won't go away. Trying to get it fired up, get it going today. Let me turn my heater off over here. It's getting a little frosty. A little frosty in here. I know some of you are deep in snow wherever you're at, getting your thing going on. So let's get into it. Again, thanks for being here, Subi. Good morning to you. Dragon Overlord saying, hey, everyone. It's always an awesome day when you can watch General. Kismet, the best streamer on the internet. Oh, thank you, Dragon Overlord. You're always so kind, bro. You're always so kind. I appreciate the love here in the channel. It's Rob coming in saying, good morning, good morning. I hope you're having a great start of your Tuesday, everybody. I'm ready to play some games. I was playing some more 2 Point Hospital on the Amazon Luna. That's very, very fun. Man, sometimes the reason why I don't play it on stream is because I've played the beginning over and over and over. And so I was trying different configurations and then I would restart. And then I'd try to put the things different and I restart. I tried to do it different. And then, man, I clicked in on one that was just like perfect, just amazing. And all of a sudden, man, my hospital was running. I literally just AFK. And the whole thing was just running super smooth. And it's funny because you understand a bit deeper of those game mechanics. All of a sudden you go, oh, okay, now I get it. I love those moments when you play games like that. I already have it for the PC. Amazing, amazing game, but also very fun if you're looking to get that Amazon Luna down the road. I'm part of the early access program right now, but very, very cool cloud gaming. You don't even notice it's cloud gaming. It could be running on your PC for all you know. I've tried it on my phone, which works fantastic. I do have a new phone, the iPhone 12, as well as I have an iPad. I was playing it on my iPad. I have a thing that holds the iPad up for me. So I'm literally just sitting there in bed gaming because I get real dizzy. So I have to lay down. So while I'm laying down, I can play some games, right? And I'm putting down different little rooms and all my little guys are running in and out of the various rooms and all my doctors. And then I was getting relentless, right? I was getting relentless where I just literally, this guy's better than you. Psh, you're fired. Oh, this guy's better than you, janitor. Boop, you're fired. And I was getting so relentless that I would just every time I had an upgrade, I would just fire the people that I had from before and hire the new peeps. Normally, you try to stick with your peeps, but in a hospital, you gotta keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. And it actually does work phenomenally when you learn that. I think the most important thing to learn in that game is assigning people to a certain job so they don't get into the wrong room and then start to kill everybody. That's one of the things that kept happening to me. Like, this guy would go in that room. I'm like, no, you're not in that room. You're this room. And he would just keep going back in that room. I forgot there's a function that you go into and you say, hey, you just work here in the diagnosis and you work in the treatment room, and that's it. Don't be going in the others because sometimes they get all switched around. So once I learned that, remember that, we're good to go. Because we played it before on the stream. Very, very fun. Again, called 2 Point Hospital. Jesse coming in. What's up, Jesse? Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning to you. We're going to get into it today. I feel like we should dive right in. Might be a shorter stream today, again, because peeps are working on the house right now. We'll see how it goes. Let's just dive in, play some games. Let's go. All right, everybody, we're going to start with some Stream Raiders today. Now, we do have some Satisfactory going on in the background. Actually, I could probably start it up right now and then it'd be making me some stuff while I'm talking to you guys. Let's go. Let's go ahead and get into some Stream Raiders today. Now, I took the advanced thing to go in and purchase some of these scrolls here just to get us a little extra fired up. We need 2 more gold right there to get that last one. I just buy them randomly, and then eventually I get my guys all leveled up over here. I do have 5 of them already at 30. Trying to get number 6. I actually have to get all of these to 30 to get my next achievement done, my next big quest, which is this one right here. Get 10 units at level 30. And the funny thing is, this says get 15 units at 10, which I'll instantly get that unlocked. And then get 15 units at level 20, which I'll instantly get that one unlocked. And then I think this is the last one in the chain. Get 15 units to 30. That's going to take a little while, but that's okay. We do lots of battles here. We're going to crush that for sure. Up here, we need to place 10 captive units in battle. I think we'll get that going. And then earn some more event tokens. Then we'll be good. I love these quests. These quests in here are very fun. We got to use our Orc Slayers. I have still not figured out how to get this right up here. That was up here. The Bannerman one assists so much. But luckily it went away. It literally just went away right before the stream because it was still there when I checked it about an hour ago. But it went away, so good. All we got to do is play some bombers. So we'll probably start with the legendary drop here. So let's start with that because it's going to be the longest cooldown. Let's get you guys some gold. Let's get our Stream Raiders fired up. Oh, I forgot to send my shout-outs out to Stream Raiders. I forgot to send them some love. I'll have to do those shout-outs here in just a moment. I'm always in the middle of like 5,000 things, everybody. 10 minutes is not enough startup time. It rarely ever is. All right, let's go. I feel on the low side. I'm going to go ahead and get my Orc Slayer here to get my quest going on. I'm going to slide over here for a second to just send some love out to all my peeps. This is all the stuff. If you're wondering what I do when I'm doing that startup, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing a ton of stuff, like sending shout-outs and posting on Twitter, all that stuff. 10 minutes is very rarely enough to get all that going because I do it while the stream is live. So I have to do it in that moment. Boom. There we go. All right, looking good. Let's go ahead and get this going on over here as well. All right, so many buttons. So many buttons. All right, there we go. All right. See, I do a lot of stuff in that 10 minutes, man. I'm loading stuff and redoing stuff and all of that because in that startup time allows me to click a lot of buttons and flip a lot of switches that make this stream run. I have a pretty complex setup that makes all this work. And it's always like every day, you always wonder if it's going to work. It's always something. That's why sometimes my stream goes off the rails, but that's all part of the fun, right? Let's go ahead and play some Boom Satisfactory. Now, you come play some Stream Raiders with us. It's a free-to-play game. Very, very fun. You're going to find everybody in the chat playing it. You might as well come and join us. Just click that link. You can play it on mobile. So if you got Android or iOS, you can play on there. If you got a tablet or something like that, you can play it on there. Very fun. As well as you can play it on your desktop or your laptop machine. Download it for free, play it for free, have a good time with us all day. All right, so here we go. In some Satisfactory, saw my trains go by right there. Let me turn my sound back on. Now, we're working on the highest end item in the game called turbo motors. Now, those turbo motors are among the most complex things in the game right now. Now, of course, they have new cool stuff coming out for Satisfactory. Can't wait to check that out as well. Let's go take our hypertube here. And what we do is we have our multiple levels of the factory. Our lowest level, of course, is going to be our coal power, which is down below this base. Then as we come up, we have an empty kind of travel level. And then above that is my production level. And then above that is my second level of production level that we'll be working on. And then way up here at the top is my hub level, also my train level where I'm running trains. And you can see them running out here, bringing in... Look at the moon right there. It's so cool. Now, this game is amazing. This is an 11 out of 10. This game is phenomenal. I highly, highly recommend it. Absolutely. If you love building games, this game's in early access and is an 11 out of 10. I know. At least I think so. That's my personal opinion. I love these type of games. Incredibly, incredibly fun. Also multiplayer. Soon, hopefully, we get some private servers as well. You know I'm going to set one up. And there we go. There goes our trains. We got what's called a looped train, where it comes in on one side and then goes out on the other, as opposed to a push-pull train, which is what my other train is over there. Actually, my multiple push-pull trains. I love train games as well. So you put building with exploration, with trains, and then fluids, and then all sorts of factory stuff where you have to figure out the numbers and the ratios and all that stuff. You got me, bro. You got me. There it is. Boom. Train. You got me. Those trains are awesome. Now you can see I've got a giant space elevator where I've been sending stuff up to the mothership up there, to the Fix-It Corporation, which basically is the storyline of the game. You're part of the Fix-It Corporation. They send you down to collect resources and send it up there. And the more you send up your resources, of course, the more things you unlock along the way, like all sorts of cool stuff. Like different higher level materials like aluminum, and then of course all sorts of materials that you can see I've got all lined up here just in case I need them. I can run up here and grab a bit of those, which is always fun. And we're just kind of in our last stage. Now we've taken our aluminum over here and also run them into these particular converters right here, and what they're doing is they're making heat sinks. Now those heat sinks are working pretty good. We're also creating like plastic and rubber and running that where it needs to go. And then we've brought it way up here along with a whole bunch of water, and then converted it into aluminum, then into heat sinks, and then those are flowing down to there. Now I actually have a jetpack which I need to put on before I jump off the side of here like this. Whoa! Look out! Going down. Whoa! They're good for the jetpack. And these are being run into these final kind of machines here. Now, these machines are doing something very specific right here. We've got our heat sinks, we've got rubber, crystal oscillator, and computers. And we've really got to upgrade our rubber production. And we started to work on that on the far side. We didn't quite finish it. We'll get that up to speed. And then over here, well, that's going to produce some stuff, and that's going to run into here. We've got our heat sinks already going from up above. We've got our radio control units, and we still got to run motor and some more rubber into there, right? We need to really get that going on. Now this one over here, I think I just manually fed that in there. I don't know if I finished that rubber run there. Let's go in the back and take a look. Yeah, see there's rubber that needs to go into that one right there. And I kind of felt like I ran that, but it definitely seems like maybe we didn't. Yeah, see, we definitely, that's just running a couple along that belt. That needs a lot more than that. That needs to be running super consistently down the line, because we're going to need to split that in half for the other one. So that seems to be our place to start. Now you might also notice that I got a little bit of a factory going here. If you want to understate it, yeah, we got a little bit of a factory fired up here. What we've been doing on this particular playthrough is called underfeeding, where you feed everything from underneath, and it really adds a really cool effect to your factory. So when you're running along, you can see all that stuff feeding up there. You've got a nice road that does it as well. Whoa, look out! The 5th Viking coming in, nuking the stream to get the stream started. Thank you very much, 5th Viking. Whoa! Whoa! Catch that, Biddy. Thank you very much for coming in, showing the stream some love. Appreciate you all being here. I see you in the chat. Hide your gold, hide your mead. A Viking never retreat. That is true. Did you know that I am actually a direct descendant of the Vikings on my father's side? I am. Direct descendant, and that's why we've been playing tons of Valheim. There we go. Brain. I was saying Valhalla there. Valheim. We've been playing a bit of that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to play it this Saturday again. Very, very fun. So. Hello, how are you? Are you holding coffee? I am holding coffee right here because the name of this studio that makes Satisfactory is Coffee Stain, which is funny. But the reason why you hold this is so you're not running around with this all the time, or this, or this, or especially this, right? It's kind of hard to build your factory with a big old chainsaw. They don't have a function like you do in Fallout where you put your weapon away. It's basically you're holding the cup just to keep your area clear. And also, it's got a little force field on it. Watch, see, it never spills. That's because underneath his finger, there's a button, right? And he just presses that button when he wants to drink, and he lets go. Little force field over his cup. Don't you wish you had that before you spilled your stuff last time? I know I do. Now, again, thanks for bringing your awesome people into my channel, The Fifth Viking. I hope you have a great stream. Let me go ahead and give you a shout out here. I got a button that does it right here. Watch this. Boom. I just press a button. Bam. Right there in the stream. Gave you a shout out. Let's see, what were you playing? You're playing Oxygen Not Included. Oh, wow. That's another one on my list. I got so many on the list. Brain fried, 6 hours of Oxygen Not Included. We'll do it to you. Yeah, I bet. I've watched people play that game. That looks super fun. I only have so many minutes a day. In fact, I rotate through a bunch of games, and still I can't get to them all. I'm very heavy a variety streamer. Now, if you are new to my stream, my name is Kismet. I'm a partner streamer here on Twitch. Yeah, that's right. I'm 50 years old. I'm the OG gamer from way back in the 70s. I've played thousands of games. I've identified myself as a gamer before some people were even born. Now, that's how old school that I am. I love all different types of games. You see me play RPGs. You see me build gigantic factories here in Satisfactory. I'm going to play some Factorio later. You'll see me play games like Astroneer, 7 Days to Die. We played the entire Fallout series. We're going to play some Valheim. Man, so much stuff this week. Of course, some No Man's Sky. Last week, you missed it. We were playing Dual Universe. We were playing Planet Coaster. We were playing all sorts of cool stuff, even Railway Empire a couple weeks ago. Very, very fun. Play a lot of different games, but right now we're doing our highest end stuff in Satisfactory, which is our turbo motors. If you want to master this game, you definitely want to check out my video on Kismet's Rule of 8, finding the equilibrium in the numbers. Here's my rule of 8 right here. Your first big hurdle in this game is reinforced iron plates, and how to find that balance between your inputs, what you're producing, and then your outputs. And once you find that, you rule, bro. You rule. Now, they do call me the Wasteland Tycoon because I do make millions, billions, and trillions in every game pretty much I play, or I just kind of crush the game way beyond and beyond again. So thanks for being here. Artists, thank you very much coming in. Holds Coffee Engineer coming through. That's how you know there's an engineer, right? It says if they've got their coffee in hand. Very funny that I actually don't drink coffee. I love the smell of coffee. I don't drink coffee, and I stopped drinking soda. I lost 10 pounds. I've actually lost 50 pounds since I was diagnosed with sleep apnea and vertigo. I do have a constant ear imbalance that makes it difficult for me to walk around or do anything. But you know, you have two choices. You can lay down in the bed and die, or you can get up and live, and I chose the second one. And then here I am 6 years later, working on my health, working on getting around, doing much better. Thanks to all you the outpouring of love here on Twitch and all the awesome people who come in and raid my channel. I appreciate every single person who does. Thank you, RL Drift, for the follow as well. Man, we're firing it up today. We're going to get it going. Now, we got to get our oil supply going. Actually, I need to go to the other side. We need to get our oil supply boosting our plastic and our rubber that we're producing so we can put that into our machines and then, of course, make our turbo motors. Turbo motors are always the thing that takes the longest because they rely on you to make a whole bunch of massive resources, massive power behind the thing. Now, let's go ahead and start at the beginning. Right here, we can see we've got some trains going. I love the trains in this game. I absolutely do. They're so fantastic. Look at that. It's loading the oil up into here, and I've got multiple trains running at the same time. It's like having a big train set. And then that runs in, and you can see right here, this is 600 and about 540, so we're just rounding up 600. So it's about 1,200. Someone's working on my house. There's about 1,200 oil right here. Now, you are going to hear some background noise. Can you guys hear that? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear that noise. I can hear it. Last time I played Satisfactory, when I added the trains, I couldn't make heads or tails from it. Yeah. What'd you say? I know, right? Like I said, they're going to be working on the house today, so if you hear some loud noises, just roll with it, everybody. Just roll with it. Yeah, one of the things about Satisfactory and mastering the trains of Satisfactory, great example if you're going to do a push-pull train like this, is the fact that the trains need to be facing two separate directions, and the stations need to be facing 2 separate directions. That's very important when you're just going to have the train go back and forth between those 2 stations. Now, if you're going to do a loop train, then it's much easier. It's just like when you had a train when as a kid, right? The train station needs to be going in the same direction. That's really the key to trains right there. You're good. Also, I also suggest to test the train first, is to put the train down, and then get them going across there. That's going to be the easiest way to get it going. There we go. So that's how an Ani transport tube work in 3D. Yeah, those are awesome hypertubes here in Satisfactory. Very cool. Now here is our production over here, which is right now creating fuel, and we want to go ahead and keep our fuel going. You can see I've got a little bit of something going back here. That's a lot of power. Plus we have nuclear power. Plus we have a ton of coal power. We are not hurting for power. That is for sure. And what we were doing over here is we were starting some additional production. And this, by the way, that side over there is 600, and we're pulling the other 600 right here. We're just getting started with that other 600. You can see we've got some heavy rubber going here. Then we have another one here. Now you got to pair the machines together. So what you do is you start here with some crude oil. It's producing about 40 rubber here, but it's also producing 40 waste material, which is the oil residue, right? Now again, this game is an 11 out of 10. It is incredibly well done. I highly recommend it. It's in early access. One of the first games, few games that are 11 out of 10 in early access. I highly recommend picking it up. Very, very cool, especially if it's on sale. I'd snag it up. You can get it on Steam or on Epic Game Store. It's not for console yet, but they did the smart thing. They said, we're just going to focus on making a great game on PC. Then we'll come back. If there's a huge enough demand, then we'll put it on console. I'm sure there will be, for sure. Now this right here is taking that heavy oil residue and producing it into petroleum coke. So we found an equilibrium, right? So we found the 2 items over here, the 2 things making rubber, and then we found the refinery, which is taking that excess trash, right, and converting it into petroleum coke. And then it's got something called the awesome sink, which is awesome, by the way. This thing right here. Now what this does is it takes all your excess resources, and you'll see it come down the line here from time to time. There it goes. It takes all that excess resources, it runs it in there. It's like a gigantic garbage disposal. So you're running all that petroleum coke so that your production does not stop. And there it goes. You can see it starting up. It's going to crunch that stuff up. And then what it does, it crunches that up and it gets me some tickets or coupons, and then you take those coupons and then you unlock stuff in the game. There is no pay to win, there's no DLC, there's none of that stuff. That's all part of the actual game mechanics. Is you take all the trash, you grind it up, you take the coupons, and then you unlock more windows and doors and supports and all sorts of fun stuff, including cars and all sorts of neat stuff to get you around your city. And so that's kind of step number 1 right there. Now what I call that the Kismet rule of 8, or the equilibrium that you find in the game. Then what you do is you just blueprint that same thing again and again and again as you need to expand your factory, right? So in this case, we've got about 30 coming in, 30 crude oil, and it's going 20 out, right? And those are your input-output ratios. And so all we need to worry about is the input right now, right? So we got 30, and then over here, it's the exact same thing. And you can see we got a bunch of fluid flowing everywhere, all the oil. We've got parts and we've got fluids, which is cool. You use water, sulfur, all sorts of crazy stuff that you're going to be using and converting into fluids or into solids. Very, very cool. So there's a second one here. That's 30, so that's 60. And then this one at the end does not use any oil. This is converting our oil for us at a rate of 40. So it goes 20 and 20. And we put that together, that's 40 on the output, bam, of the residue, and then this is 40 on the input. So we got it, right? So now that's only 60 of 600, right? So that's a lot. So we could have 10 sets of this running at the same time. And we want to get that going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit F and then middle mouse button. It's going to pick up that item. I could also go in here to the builder. I can go ahead and select it, all the different stuff here. But it's really a good habit to get used to just picking that up and good to go. So we're going to take that and we're just going to keep duplicating that. Now I like to leave a little bit of a gap between my stuff like this. Now, you might notice, hey, Kismet, why is it red? Well, it's red right now because I don't have enough resources to do it. It shows you right in the middle of the screen. I need some motors. Well, that's not going to be a problem, considering like about 70% of my factory over there, it builds up to the point in which it makes motors. That's really what it does over there. A good portion of your entire factory is going to be toward those basics, and then you're going to get to the higher end stuff, which we are right now. Where's my trade at? I always get nervous getting on the tracks. Back that way. It's back that way. All right. Now, you can't actually be killed yet, but it's good not to get used to being on the tracks because it's going to run you over and you're going to die. There you go. There you go. You're going to die because the train... Oh, there it is. Now, trains also don't collide yet. Again, it's early access, but they are going to add that, so your trains just like ram into each other. We'll have to test it, of course, here in the stream. Now, I've got a bunch of this stuff laying around. Now, I can go in and look in every box, but I'm going to show you a shortcut, a little Kismet tip here, and you're going to find lots of those here in the stream. Going to talk about all sorts of game mechanics as we go along as well. We're going to go ahead and roll over this like this, and we can kind of look for the motors in there, because it's telling me what's in that box right there when we roll over it. Probably no motors down here. I've probably used them all up, I would imagine. Now, this is excess resources from when I built my base and then tore it back down and then remade it as you see it now. And I do that a lot as I progress through Satisfactory and other games. I'll build a smaller base, which is like your basic base. Then I'll build what I call a super build. That's kind of my second level of building, where I'm building a whole bunch of stuff and then running it in. And then the mega build, which is what we're working on right now, which is where you make it fancy, right? You make it more fancy and you're underfeeding it and you're running all these run lines and all sorts of cool stuff. You'll find a lot of that epic stuff here in the stream. All right, so we need some motors. Now, the cool, convenient thing is that I am running a crazy ton of motors into this box. And as you can see, I got a whole box full of it. And as I go ahead and take them out, notice that it's starting to fill this one up again right there, because then it's starting up my production again automatically because it is backlogged and said, oh, we've got enough of this. And now it's going to go ahead and add more in there. So we're good to go. Good to go there. All right, let's go ahead and head back down again. Let's try to make sure we remember the right one. This one. Let's head back down again. We'll run back over there. Now, in this game, you have different vehicles, and you have your hyper tubes, which is what I'm using right there to go up and down much faster. But you also have your various vehicles. I love this little one right here. I feel like if you were really working for some giant space corporation, this is the exact vehicle they would give you. Because the cheapest, most inexpensive thing they would totally give you. But it's actually really incredibly good because it doesn't require any fuel. I'd say it's fusion generated or water powered or solar powered, whatever you want to call it. But it actually doesn't require any power whatsoever. So you can throw it down at any time and it sticks to foundations like glue, but not when you're out on the road. When you're out on the road or you're out in the sand or whatever, you're going to be spinning out all over the place. But it allows us to go grab that, come back over here, and continue on with what we're working on. Now, I always pick this up just in case I get, I'm out working somewhere and I'm way out in the boonies and I suddenly turn around and realize my base is way off back that way. It can save you later on. Okay, so now what we need is 3 refineries. So we're going to go ahead and start with our first one over here, which we're just going to line up off of this. Now, notice this green line up here. This green line is saying, hey, this is lined up with that thing. That's going to help you a lot. Now, I like to leave a little gap between them. So I'm going to do 2 this way. And I'm looking at the inputs and output. Orange means input, or you see the 3 lines. And then green means output. Now I'm going to actually output this reverse. This way we can feed this into the back, which is the way that this works right here. It actually feeds into the back over here. And then comes back and then switches around and goes down into there. So this is actually the output. How can you tell? That right there, that little green arrow. Is the output, and then if you see these lines right here, that means input. Now, pretty easy to get that started. What we're going to do, now watch how easy it is to build in this game. Watch this. Isn't that awesome? Oh, man. I mean, this game is second to none. This is like the new gold standard for building. I can tell you, I've played thousands of games, and I can tell you there ain't nothing that makes it as easy as that, because there's a little point around the edge of all the foundations that allow you to push out one way or push this way or that way or go up or down below that foundation and very easily control what you're doing. And as a builder, I am a big builder. I love building stuff in games. I can tell you this game is just phenomenal when it comes to that. And that's what it is. It's a building game. So it's a factory building game. So you definitely want to have some really good building if you're going to make a factory building game. And they really crushed it big time. Oh, I'm always out of something, by the way, in this game. And that's just how these kind of games work. All games like this are always you're out of something. Like in this case, I'm out of concrete. So I've got to go use my little thing unless the train's coming. No train. Sometimes I hop the train if it's going by. But again, we just get in our little vehicle and off we go. I love this little vehicle. It makes me smile every time. There's also a Christmas version where it looks like a package. Really phenomenal Christmas event in here too. Wow, the building is super nice. Yeah, the building is amazing in this game. Again, it's like the gold standards. This is like the Witcher 3 of building games for sure. Or maybe like the Spider-Man. If you played Spider-Man on the PS4, this is like the Spider-Man of builders, bro. Incredibly, incredibly good. I think I could give no praise higher than that. For sure, for sure. Incredibly, incredibly good. All right, we're looking for some concrete. I seriously doubt I have too much of it left. Oh, a little bit right here. Let's go ahead and grab a bit of that. We're going to need a bunch of that today. And again, now what I can also do is to go ahead and add a hypertube from where I'm at to over there. I have one that goes way out there, but not one that stops right there. And the reason why sometimes I don't add that is it takes me longer to add it than it does for me just to go build the thing, and then I'm not going over there again. When I get this done, I'm not going to be coming over here. So, oh, there goes our train. Now look at this, man. Again, this has epic shots in here too. We've got tons of production over on this side. We got power over there. Just amazing, amazing game. Now the world is all one gigantic world, and so you start in different positions in that world. You start at like your starter positions, which is like the forest, and then of course you try the more advanced positions. We've done all of them. This is actually the Rocky Desert, even though I'm not in the desert anymore. I found some coal nodes, pure coal nodes. 3 of them. If you've ever played this game before, you know finding 3 coal nodes is like, oh, it's like the a miracle moment. Now you're like, hey Kismet, have you played and done everything in this game? No, I have not. And the reason why I don't do that is because I do like to leave a bit to play later because they are still working on the game. And so I always like something left to do. Like I haven't explored every cave or every area, but I have done a lot of the game, including I've played through the game probably 20 or 30 times as it's been developed over the years. Very, very fun. Highly recommend it. It's on my top list of games for sure. All right, so as you can see, they've added vertical power lines up here too, which I think is pretty cool. Let me turn my light on. They've added vertical power lines. Now what it allows me to do is just go straight up and connect those very cleanly like that, right? And then I can just connect it into the rest of my system over there, and now these have power, which is awesome. Don't need to power it up right now until we run all the stuff into it. And so we're going to go ahead and also do here in the back, because remember this one is reversed because we want to feed it from the back. Going to make it way easier to feed, and just showing you some of my tricks. Now again, we just blueprint again and again and again. Remember, we have 600 extra oil here, and so far we've used 60 out of 600. I know, right? That's why you run all those lines, and you spend all that time hunting down all of that, and then you set up your trains. Your trains are bringing in that oil like crazy. I have such a giant backlog of oil. We need to use it up because we're going to need a lot of this here. We're going to get this where we just see a non-stop flowing of that rubber on our conveyor belts. And again, we're just going to keep duplicating again and again and again. And look how far. We can go on until forever because I've lifted my base way up and run it. Now, the next time we do it, we're going to do this all with foundations, right? We're going to require foundations in everything that we build between levels and all of that. There is no support poles right now. This is very Minecraft-esque, where you can, build something up in the air and it's just floating there without supports. But next time we'll do it with supports. I do love just to straight up build way above everything. It is very, very fun to do it that way. All right, so we got that done. Now what do we need to do? We need to tap into this line and run this line over to here. And that's pretty easy to do. I got some key sets down here that we're going to go ahead and tap into right here. And you see I'm on key set number 2, and that has to do with all my piping. And so what I'm going to do is right up here, I'm going to go ahead and just run a little line. Let's say Yeah, right about there. Sounds good to me. And then we're going to run that line right over here to our new areas right there. Very easy. Now, that's not too beautiful, but we could go in, we could tap this, we could go ahead and run it like this. Now, there's two ways to play this game, right? There's the functional make it work. And then there is the part that I absolutely, it's worth it. Oh yeah, totally, Jesse, totally worth it. Yeah, it's like 30 bucks. It's like you're stealing it from them. It's like you're ripping them off. I'm telling you. It reminds me of 7 Days to Die, right? If you played 7 Days to Die, I paid $10 for 7 Days to Die. Though I have given away 100 copies because I love the game. Incredibly awesome. Here in the stream, 100 plus copies now that I paid for and gave away because it's such a fantastic game. It cost $10 for 7 Days to Die, and I played it for thousands of hours. I don't know of any game that I've got my return on investment more, other than Fallout, I would say, the Fallout series. Other than that, man, $10 for thousands of hours of gameplay, that's really good. This one here, same thing, right? $30 for really hundreds to thousands of hours. You could definitely spend thousands of hours in this game. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I highly recommend it. So here's what causes you to spend thousands of hours in there. And that's because you don't want it to just be, you know, willy-nilly, you know, what we call spaghetti running. We're just running it. However, you want to make it look nice. I'm going to show you some great ways of making it look nice. First, before you bring it from over there, what you want to do is you want to connect these two together, right? And that creates a beautiful connection between those two. Clean is minimum amount. You don't have to do an extra run and all of that. And then you very simply just go in here and put a splitter straight up like that. And then you run your line beautifully on the top like that. And then bam, there you go. Now look at the difference, right? There's a difference in that. And you're like, well, Kismet, it's just that one little spot. Yeah, but if you're doing that throughout your whole thing and you're just willy-nilly, we did that in this playthrough just to trigger everybody in the chat. That's called spaghetti. It triggers the entire Satisfactory community. You just are running lines, however, and you got all these overlapping, you know, spaghetti lines everywhere. It's awesome. It's awesome. If you want to trigger the Satisfactory community, just start running conveyors just over stuff and all over the thing. I think it's the greatest thing. It triggers me. It triggers me as well. Sayruk Gleb, I think that is. I'm going to butcher your name because that's what I do to everybody. It's part of my charm. Thanks for being here. We're ready for a battle, everybody. Now, one of the things we do on the side while we're playing other games is we do this game called Stream Raiders. Very fun. You can see a whole bunch of people in here. I'm in it for the beer right now, rocking that epic. You can see a whole bunch of little characters here. I'm in here. I've got my Orc Warrior right there. A little side game. It is a free-to-play game called Stream Raiders. And we're going to go in here. We're going to take out these two dragons, and we're going to get right back to Satisfactory. I'm going to show you more cool stuff here in just a second. Let's do it. Let's go in there. Get them dragons. Yeah, let's get some loot. So, yeah, go check it out on Did You Just Shrink? Sometimes I do shrink. I'm getting older. I do shrink. There you go. Yeah, the building is amazing, bro. The building is amazing. I highly recommend it. Again, the name of this game is called Satisfactory that we were just playing. This is Stream Raiders here. Look at this. Oh, my gosh. This battle is over before it begins. Boom. Someone died at the very end there. All right, nice battle. Let's see. Rob, we got Matt, we got Subi showing you some love right there. And Subi, again, just coming in like a boss. MVP right there with 10 kills. Nice job. All right, we're going for this right here, these loyalty chests. Let's go. Now, this is a mystery one. Don't really know how hard this mystery one's going to be. So we're going to forego using our bomber, and we're just going to go ahead and pull in me. That's right. I've got my own character in a game. It's me. Right here. I kind of feel like we want to go high side. Right here. Let's just go up. Oh, someone already did. Look, someone already did. Or no, it was an obstacle in my way. I'm going to go high side right here. We're going to push into these, get these going. Now, that's me, everybody, dressed up for TwitchCon in my yellow fedora and my blue Fallout Vault suit. You might have seen me, and you're like, oh, you're that guy. That's right. A lot of people don't recognize me, by the way, without my thing, without my Fallout glasses and all that fun stuff that I wear. I'm not much of a cosplayer, but I was required, and let's get back to Satisfactory. Boop. I was required to dress up as the Wasteland Tycoon if people donated to get my mods to TwitchCon, and so I did, and I've actually done it for the last couple years. Not last year due to coronavirus, but for the last 3 years, I've raised funds to bring my mods to TwitchCon for about 600 hours here on stream throughout the year, through the beginning of the year, and then I take them to TwitchCon. We have a great time. We give out tons of loot from all my epic sponsors, and then we gather loot, and then we send that loot off to the people who donated to get my peeps to TwitchCon, which is cool. And then also we get shirts signed by various streamers or by people from like big companies like Bethesda and things like that. Man, we do a lot of fun stuff here in the stream. We call that the Kismet Love Trade, where we send that out all over Twitch and all over the world. I do appreciate you guys being here in my stream. All right, we got that going. So look how clean that is. Nice and clean. Same thing I did over here. I've got that connected right in there very nicely. Now, on this side here, we're not going to have any inputs here, so we don't have to worry about this. That's why we can run that nice and close. Otherwise, you'd want to offset that so you can feed in whatever other thing you need, but we don't really need that right now. All we need to do is turn this up here, boom, like that, and then this one over here. Now, what we could also do, by the way, is also use what's known as residual, there we go, residual rubber, which actually is made from petroleum coke, which is the export or the byproduct that we're producing. The reason why I don't do that is I don't like my production to ever stop. I want it to always be running 24/7, never stop. And sometimes what happens is it starts to backlog, and then all your production goes off. We don't want that to happen. So we're going to let that run out. And then we're going to run that into here. We're going to go ahead and just set this as petroleum coke. And then we're going to go right here. We're going to remove this. Now, I have what's known as a run level. A run level, or a sandwich level, down below is where you do all your runs. So you put all your ugly stuff, kind of like you would if you were working on your house, which they're working on my house right now. Kind of like if you were working on your house, you would put it in the walls, right? You have all your cabling and all your other stuff in the walls that you never see. That's basically what this level is all about. And as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of stuff running way over there, as well as we've got a bunch of lines running under here, which we'll tap into, like our Awesome Sync, and then eventually our output lines as well. So let's go ahead and get back up here. And so we're going to run the output of this one down into there. So we're going to go here to logistics. We're going to get a lifter, and we're going to actually make it go down. And then we're going to tie it that way so we can find it later when we're running it. And we'll run that into the Awesome Sync. Now here in the back, we're going to go ahead and connect now the output of these. And we want to go, of course, take the rubber and run that out, much like we're doing over here. And we can just tap that into the one we already have. We'll see it go by here in a second. There it goes. So as you can see, it's already there. So once we've established one, holy moly, does that make it easy? Because we don't have to rerun all the lines. We don't have to redo all the stuff that we did before. Is that my vehicle? That's my vehicle right there. We don't have to redo all the stuff and do all the things we did before, because now we've already established that. So all we need to do is just tie it into what we've already got, right? We can tie the output of this into the output of this one, and that's going to run it down the conveyor and run it to our machines that we're running over there. So let's just do that. Now, well, the first thing I always do is put my conveyors in first. This is going to really help you a lot. Your lifts in first, and then you run your conveyors. The reason why is we'll do all the piping later, where we have to run the excess out and run it around. You'll see why, because otherwise that piping would be in the way of our lifters later on. So do your lifters first. I want to change my set again down here, as you can see, and we're going to go ahead and take this, and we're going to actually do a merger. We're just going to merge this and run it down the line, and we're just going to keep rinsing and repeat this until we either get enough, or we until we run out of oil, one or the other. Now, so you can see that's a little too close. It doesn't quite line up with what I've already got. And if you kind of just add one, right, there's a little green line that you'll see that lines that up. See the green lines there at the bottom? There's one that goes, north, south, west, east, or vertical and horizontal, whatever you want to put it but it actually lines up. So I'll put an extra one here just as a template. Take that out, holding down Control, by the way, or you hit F and then you hold down Control. You can take a whole bunch of stuff out, including the things underneath you, and we drop like a rock. Right click to get out of that. We don't want that to happen. All right, here we go. And then now we can use this to line up, right? So we lined it up off of that one, and then we're trying to line it up off of this one, and there we go. Oh, sometimes the lines don't tell you the right spot, right? Because it's telling you the center of this item here. And I find that's the toughest thing in the game, is the fact that sometimes it will not tell you the proper alignment. So you have to just keep doing it until you get it right. Like that. There we go. And now we got that right. We can go ahead and take that out. Now, the most important one is the top one here. These other two I'm going to take out later. But the top one's very important. Notice the green arrow? The green arrow is facing in the direction we want to go. These are mergers, so it's going to merge together, and then we're going to run it down like that. Now, once you have one established, the other one's fairly easy. You just line it up like this, run it up like that, and because I'm using that one as a template, and there we go. Now, never trust these. If you learn one thing in my stream, if you come into there, you're like, Kismet, I don't know nothing about Satisfactory. If you learn one thing, never trust these lifters, right? Always take them back out again. Always reattach them, because that's the thing that's going to screw you up the most. In fact, when I first started playing, I kept going, well, God, why is my stuff not running? Why is it not running? And that's because I put the lifters in first to align them, and I never took them back out again to reconnect them so that they will work properly. So make sure to always reconnect those. You'll hear me talk about that a lot here on stream. And there we go. So now we got those going. Don't no longer need the ones at the bottom, which allows us to run our piping just fine. And then we'll go ahead and run this across here. Now I'm using the highest level belts because I can, but you don't necessarily have to use the highest level stuff to make this work. Okay, so there we go. As you can see, it's now starting to pump out some of that already. So it's going to start pumping out a bit of that rubber, but we got to deal with the excess here. So now we're going to go back to our pipe set right here, and we're going to run this out. I'm going to show you how to make beautiful 90-degree turns. And so we're going to line this up based on our piping over here. And let's go ahead and take this out now. We're just using that temporarily. There we go. And our piping is about right here. So we can kind of look at where it runs across the foundations here. We can also just kind of go like this and notice that green line again, helping us out. And then we'll get straight like this in both directions. So we're using the green line to line up, and then we're just visually lining it up. And then we're going to go 1, 2 in this direction. I can use my mouse wheel to control the rotation of it. Then I click, and I click again, and now you don't just have some spaghetti city. You got beautiful 90 right there. Now again, we do the same thing on the other side. Over here, we go ahead and line it up visually there. Look for that green line. Now remember, the green, you can't always trust the green line, but most of the time you can use it as a great way of lining up, using my scroll wheel to rotate, double press, and there we go, everybody. Look at that beautiful one. You're like, Kismet, you forgot one. No, I didn't forget it, believe me. I didn't forget it. It's right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get over here on the inside. A little easier to see from the inside. And I'm going to press number 2 here, which is my junction. And I'm going to try to line it up. We can see we've got a line right here at on the foundation we can use to line it up. And we're going to put it right there. Right? And that's going to allow me to go ahead and merge that into there. The cool thing about fluids and pipes is that they are both mergers and splitters at the same time. So that's going to merge that into there. I can also control the direction by using valves, so it doesn't backlog. It only goes in one direction. I can do that as well. But this is now taking that excess, running it into here, producing petroleum coke, which is now going to keep my entire system working just fine. Now, I don't need multiple awesome sinks because of the line speed that I'm running, but once it starts to fill up that line, then we'll be in trouble. But we'll be fine now because look at this right here. We can just go ahead and tie these in across. Now, what I would do is take this one out and probably do something like this. And we're going to need to count these. Let's see, what are we at? There's one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this would be number 6 right here. Now, it's going to be kind of tough because it's going to be right next to it. But what we're going to do is run this line from over here. Switch back to our other set. Across like this, and we can go ahead and just merge this right here. I can just, if you just aim at the line, you're going to see a little like hammer right there in the center. If you put that hammer on an object, it actually makes it where you can go ahead and snap it to that object, and then it automatically orients itself in the correct direction, which helps you a lot. And so we're going to do something like that. Then we're going to go over here. We're going to readjust this one here so that it's going to the side like this. We're going to try to line that up, a little bit higher. Right there. Let's try that again. A little bit higher. There we go. Try to line that up. And now that one has been rearranged and merged into there. And then the same thing over here. We're going to go ahead and go and count. We can only go a maximum of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, number 6 is right there. Let's do this. Now, why do we want to do that? Why do we want to run it like this? Well, because we're going to keep doing the same thing again and again and again. And so we want to just run the line across here and then merge it in as we go, right? Now, notice that this one is a little bit different, but pretty much the same as that one. And again, we can go ahead, just happen to luck out that there wasn't, the wall didn't end up right next to it. And again, another merger here. We'll line that up. We'll take this back out, and we'll put this back in again. You'll see me take these out and put these back in a lot. Like that, and then beautifully run right in there, all right? So there we go. Now, these are all going in a certain direction, as you can see, going that way. If we look the other way over here, we can see nothing going down that way. These all, the conveyors have a direction. They always go in that direction, unless you split or merge them or turn them back. Whatever you want to do. You got to make sure to watch your direction. Very, very important in the game is watching which direction is going. The gap is a struggle. Yeah, that's always a struggle there. Always a way to go, but I do love under running here. It does work fantastically. All right, so there we go. So that is another one done. Now we just got to do that a whole bunch of times, so I'm going to speed up a little bit here. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to do a whole bunch of them in a row. So that is 60 oil being used there. 60, we are at 120 now of 600. You can probably guess that we can do a lot more than what we're doing. So we're going to go over here. We're going to extend this out just a bit. And we're going to run into a problem over here eventually of that tree right there. Yeah, it's a little alien tree being in the way. We're going to go ahead and extend this out. Now look how easy it is to just, it's just so great. Right here you can see this metal part around the outside. That's controlling the direction in which I can, train. It's controlling the direction. If I go here, it goes that way. If I click on that one, it goes that way. If I go here, it does that. If I go way off over there, I can make one way over there exactly where I want it to be. And that's what really makes this game phenomenal. I can also go ahead and say, you know what, just make a bunch of these in a row, just like that. Super fast way of extending it. What I typically do is I'll extend one like this, and I'll just keep walking forward as I'm extending it, which is an awesome way to build. And then you go ahead and do your cross stuff here. Now, sometimes you're going to run into stuff. I normally don't like clipping of any type, but you can't remove the stuff from the world. This isn't like voxel shaping like in like Astroneer, or there's no kind of digging or anything like that. You can use explosive, which is cool. You can blow stuff up like trees and stuff, but you can't really dig down and make a hole or make a, look at this cool crater that's right here. A lot of cool world stuff. Look at my trains just running way up there. Too cool. And you can see, again, I've got this run. There's no supports under there. We're going to do that in our next playthrough. I always like to leave something fun to do next time. All right, so let's go ahead and really get serious. That was just one set. Now we're going to do a bunch of it at the same time. That's why we call it Satisfactory. It is a massive amount of factory building. Now, to do what I'm doing, by the way, it does require a lot of power. So be ready if you are going to be doing some massive expansion to your base, which I'm going to do right now. I've already set up massive amount of power. And so now we've got a template for what we need, right? And so we don't have to really just do it one at a time. We can go ahead and do multiple at a time. Just make sure that we're lining all these up, or we'll be doing these again here in a minute. All right, yeah, we're going to run into that. Let's see how it works out. Yeah, see, we're going to run into that. That's now blocking us. Now, we're not constrained vertically. We can also go up, down, whatever we want to do in between. We can build another level like we've done up above. We can run it up there. We've also got other room on this side over here. We'll build it out just a little bit so we can walk around this corner. We we've got all of this room here in the back as well. Now, one of the things that I suggest to do when you get to a point where you're kind of out of room is to do back-to-back. That's where you kind of run it where it's flipped on one side and then flipped on the other side, and then you're running that output down the center, which works really, really well. And it also minimizes the space that you're using, so you don't have to build as big of an area. And that's what we're going to do over here as well. So we got to count as we go, though. So we've got 60, 120, and then this is the same thing again, 120. So that'd be 240. So we can do all of that again. I mean, the whole entire thing again and again, all the way down. So we're going to go all the way over here, and then we're going to kind of flip it so the output is going in this direction. We're going to line this up off of these. We're going to see that green line show up at some point right there, and we're going to back this up over here. We're going to try to take a look at where we want that. Let's say right about there ought to be good. And again, watching that green line. And I always double check it. I never trust that green line. I always look and see, does it look lined up to me? It pretty much does. And again, we can tie the output to over here. These right here are outputs here, and so I've flipped the direction, so now they're facing basically in the same direction. They're facing like this, right? Opposing directions. And so the output of this could be tied in to the front here. Now, I always find that I rarely ever have the right distance between the thing. There's always some adjustment. So before you put a whole line of these, do the first one and then figure out your distances. And then once you figure out your distances, then you run the rest of them. The gap is a struggle. Hello, how's your stream so far? It's doing good, Modern Bat. Thanks for being here. Still running. Yeah, still running, rocking and rolling there. So before we get into this second line, we'll go ahead and leave that for now. Let's go ahead and finish out the one that we got. And we know it's just going to be a carbon copy of what we've already done. So we can just do that really quick. Now, of course, if you do a whole bunch of these in a row, going to make it a lot easier because you can just run along like this and do that. And then same thing over here. We know this is going to go like that. That's going to go like that. We're going to do two at the same time. Then we're going to go over here and add our mergers, which are going to come down the line like this. And we're going to kind of visually line that up as best we can. That's good. All right, like that. And then this one's going to help us do the second one. Right over here. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, that one's done. And again, line this up. Now, sometimes I'll just put one in between just to kind of line that up and make it easier for me to align these ones. I can visually see where it's at. Again, the only one that matters is the top one. That's the only one we're going to do it. Again, I hope you don't mind me speeding up. If you do have a comment or question for me in the stream, you can use my name, Kismet, in the chat. I'll highlight in red. No, you're talking directly to me. All right, we'll take that out. We'll take this out, and we'll re-add this back in. Remember, always add those back in again. We'll take these two out. Those are done. This one over here. I usually don't take the ones out at the bottom until I know those are established. This way I can restack them or turn them or do whatever I need to do. This one's going to come out of there. And then this one's going to tie into there. Isn't that nice? I love how fluid that works. Again, if we take these out, I don't remember. I'm going to take them out again anyway, just to make sure they are working. I'll come back and actually visually look and double check all of these that they are working. Take that out. Take this out. Again, as you can see, you can really speed up. Now, this is normally the speed that I play games. I play very, very fast. I don't do it on stream, though. Because it is very frustrating to not be able to see what someone's doing on stream. But if I've already explained it once, I think you got the gist of it, and thus I'm going to speed up a little bit. I think you got it. Now, again, if you do have any questions, like Kismet, I missed it earlier or something like that, feel free to ask. I don't mind showing you again. I never do. Some people get upset when they have the same questions over and over. I never do, because I know what it feels like to come into a stream and say, hey, I missed it. Could you tell me how you did this thing? I understand completely. No worries, no worries. All right. Let's go ahead and line that up. And there we go. All right. That side is looking sharp. And let's make sure that we tell all of our stuff what we want to do. We're going to do petroleum coke there. And then on this one, more rubber. This one here, more rubber. And then this side, super easy to do this side. We're going to tie those two together. Tie these two together. And we're just going to put it right in the center because that looks nice right there. Now here's another thing that we can do to make this even cooler, is to do something like this, right? Is to basically kind of hop this across and then hop it across again. I'm going to need some more plastic to do that. But I suggest not to do that. And the reason why you don't want to do that is eventually what you want is you want a bunch of feed lines. You want to keep the fluid as high as possible. The more you do this with the fluid and up and down, the more pumps you have to add, which requires more power, which means you got to build more power. So I'm always thinking, because it's pumping down from up here. It's coming down and coming across this. As long as I keep it higher, it'll naturally feed down, just like water does, right? Water will run downhill or down a pipe. So if you have it up real high, great example, water towers, right? What they do is they pump the water to the water tower that's on top of your building or maybe your neighbor's building. And that water tower up there is higher than everything down below. And so say you lose power, that's why you still have water when you lose power, because gravity is pulling that water down and of course go into your shower and your sink and all of that. If you do lose power during a power outage, and it might take a while, if you do lose power, I suggest to fill up some buckets full of water, because that water will eventually run out and there'll be no power to pump that water back to the top. So great great tip for you when it comes to water towers. So what we're going to do, instead of doing all of this run, is we're going to kind of clean this up a little bit. We're going to clean all this up and we're going to run it just like this. But we're going to run a nice clean run across the top. Now, I'm a big fan of running once you kind of get the game down a bit, is using your walls, right? Using your walls as a great way to run your resources. What we're going to do is we're going to create 3 walls behind each and every one of these. It doesn't have to be perfectly lined up, but you can if you want. Like that. There we go. And then over here. And what that's going to do is going to lift it up to an area that has to do with the first one that I did over here. Like so. All right. Now what we can do is we can feed the line down the way, right? We can feed it down there. Now there's multiple ways of doing it. I could create a wall hole like this. So if I press the right button, there we go. I can create a wall hole and I can feed it all the way down if I want. Or what I can do is I can use a wall pipeline support like this. If I press the right button, there we go. A pipeline support which will run it from there over to here, and then we can just split it however we want. Now we got to watch out from where we're running this support. If we run this support directly out from here, it's going to be blocking our ability to split it and put it into there. So I suggest to do a nice offset. So we'll go ahead and center that. I think that ought to be good. Maybe a little bit on the right. We'll center that right. How about that? Or kind of heavy right there. And then the same thing, we'll walk down. You've got to watch out for that because it will mess you up later on. And there we go. So where are we putting that? We'll look at that one. We'll say, okay, we're doing it right here along those kind of rivets there. Let's go back and check. I'm a stickler in trying to make it all very uniform because it makes it look awesome at the end. And then again, way down here, like this. There we go. Now that we got those all up there, we can make it look beautiful. Now again, a lot of your time is spent making the stuff, and then later on, you will make it look amazing. And then the same thing down here. And so again, see, this one happens to come out in such a way that it's going to block this area. So I'm not going to put a support there because I've already got a wall hole. And so we're going to do this like that, and then again we can just go ahead and just tell that to go like that. And if you really want to line it up, you want to line it up in this corner so you can kind of see that it's splitting the difference between the support, and we can use that as kind of a visual guide to try to line that up as nicely as possible. And then look at that, everybody, look at that. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about there, making it look nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's keep going. Run that over to there. We're crushing it today. Who is drilling in the factory, right, Jason? Yeah, they're working on my house today. It's gonna happen, everybody. Try to take care of the fam today. I appreciate them coming in, doing an awesome job on that. They're working on my bathroom. They're taking out an old tub that we have in there from when my kids were little. When your kids are babies, right, you have a little thing that you put in the tub and you wash them in there, a little sprayer and all that stuff when they're babies. And they get older, and then, of course, you know, they're taking a bath and whatnot in the tub. And then they get old and older like me, really old. And then, you know, stepping over that bathtub every single time when we never use the bathtub anymore is very annoying. And I have vertigo. So I have a tendency to sometimes slip and sometimes have to catch everything before I fall and die. So I have to watch out for that constantly. So we're taking the bathtub out and we're putting in a shower, just a standing shower, which is great. Helps me out. The wife likes it. She don't have to clean the bathtub. The kids don't have to, you know, clean the whole bathtub and shower and all that, because we do, you know, my kids help out, because this ain't no free ride, bro. This ain't no free ride. My kids need to learn the value of helping out, if you know what I mean. Just like I did. I started when I was 5 years old, everybody. I started helping out, mowing the lawn, doing all that stuff at 5. And my parents are old school, bro. You want something, you go earn it. You want something to eat, there's the kitchen. You want your clothes to be clean, there's the washer and dryer. I'm talking old school, bro. They don't mess around. But I did learn a lot of resilience as well. A lot of resilience and self-reliance that has helped me to this day and still keeps me going today. All right, let's do it. Let's do it right here. There we go. All right, we're going to get a bunch of this plastic, because we're going to need a lot of that for running pipes and whatnot. One of my favorite things, by the way, in this game is I'm up really high right here. This is my train run level. You can see them running out there. Multiple of them coming in and out. Is to get up really high here, because you have a jetpack. You can see it over here, how much fuel I have. I always glance at it before I do something crazy. Almost always. Sometimes I forget, and then I fall to my death. That's part of the fun as well. But we can just run in this direction, and then yeet off the top. Whee! Ah, and then jetpack. Ah, that's much better. Watch out for the train. And there we go. We're back. So, again, you need certain resources that help you build the resource. Now, I always find it funny that I typically run out of resources. That is the thing that makes the resource. Oh, there goes the train again. There it goes. I run out of resources of the thing that I'm trying to make in the moment. Usually in this case. But in this case, I'm doing pretty good here on our stuff. All right, let's go ahead and line that up again. Make that beautiful rundown. Now, again, it would work just as fine the other way. It would work just as fine, but it won't look as nice. So we want to go ahead and make it nice, right? I want to line that up as best we can. Run those down. That's going to turn out amazing. Now, this last one here, we don't really need to worry about it, because this is going to be the last one in the row. So we're just going to tie that at the end there, and there we go. We've got our beautiful lines all the way down. We've got all that oil being fed into here. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and tell this what it's going to be. We've got rubber going there. Rubber over here. This one's petroleum coke. We're going to run that out. Again, let's take this out here. Let's go ahead and add our underneath lines here. Sometimes in this game, by the way, you misclick and you're building stuff way off in the distance, which I find funny every time. I do it quite often, that I'll be misclicking. All right, we're good on our piping, so we're going to run that down just to kind of show us where we're at with that. This only has an input. These over here are not being used, so we're fine. This one over here also going to be running down. Let's go ahead and run that down. We can find that. Let's go ahead and do our under level. It might be like, Kismet, why do you use 8x2 foundations and not the really skinny foundations? I feel like those little skinny foundations ain't going to be holding up this gigantic factory. I mean, if you have a little thing on there, maybe, or maybe you can say space metal or whatever. But I feel like it's not going to hold it up, so it doesn't feel industrial strength. So that's why I use the thicker ones, because I feel like those would hold it up without bending down, right? I don't know. It's just one of those kind of extra RP things that I add to the game. All right, there we go. So we got all that going. We got this output running down. Oh, time for a battle as well. One of the things we need to do is we need to then set up our power like we do over here. Look how great this is, everybody. Look at that. Look at that from way down here. Look at this building. Second to none, everybody. This is the Spider-Man, The Witcher 3. This is the God tier of building games. Incredibly awesome. An 11 out of 10. Again, this game's called Satisfactory. Highly recommend it. I don't have any affiliate links or anything like that. You go buy it wherever you want to buy it. Steam, Epic Game Store. It's okay. You go buy it for whatever you can find it for. Find it on sale if you can. If not, still worth it. Still totally worth it, even without, oh, out of concrete, as always. As always. All right, so we'll go ahead and add the rest of these lines here in a second. Train go by. We're going to go ahead and do another battle. That's what that noise was. So look at all the peeps right here. Let's do it. Battle time. Let's blow it up. All right. Oh, it's time, everybody. It's time to step it up. Use your epic gear. Let's get it fired up. I seriously doubt my orc is ready. Orc is not ready. Let's see. What was the other quest we had here? Bombers. All right. Let's go ahead and throw. Oh, well, we shouldn't do it on this one. This is a 4 skull. No, never mind. I'm gonna pull the tank in again. I always pull my highest level character in, so you guys have a chance to win. Oh, we got a quest down there too. Hold on, let's get that quest. You always want to collect these right away. The reason why is because they have a cooldown on some of them. In this case, this one just goes right into the next one. I need to earn 50 event tokens, and I'm on the quest that gets me event tokens. So that's very convenient. Definitely want to collect that. And then we'll get that going on. Again, this is a free-to-play game called Stream Raiders. Just go ahead and click the link in the chat. You can come and join us on mobile or on desktop. All right. Now, here we go over here, everybody. We got this going on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find my train here. Where is my train? It could be this way, or it could be that way. I kind of feel like it's that way. What I'm going to do here is find my train here for a moment. It's down there somewhere. And we'll wait for our train to come back. Let me turn the sound back on. I hear a lot of stuff going on. This stuff is being pumped into there. We'll come back and finish that here in a moment. We've got to run our power lines. That one's going up there. There's definitely one over there. We've got a vehicle over there, locomotive over there. All right, come on, train. Now, what it's done is it's gone way off to the distance. It's grabbed a bunch of oil, and that's also what these guys are doing up here. Bring a bunch of oil in, and it's going to run that back to my primary base over here. Now, it takes a minute for it to load and do all the things that it's doing over there. And then eventually, it's going to automatically go back and forth, by the way. You can automate your vehicles. You can have them run and pick stuff up. You have big trucks that you can run out there, and they pick stuff up and bring it back, which is very cool. There we go. Yeah, I was rolling the factor. I always appreciate when someone puts the time and effort into making things look nice. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, train! No, we missed it! I tried to grab it. Too late. I very rarely take a bath, but it's nice and relaxing when I do. Yeah, I like those big, deep tubs, which are awesome. We don't got one. We got that, you know, the standard size, low ones. I'm a big guy, as in width of shoulders, and big guy as in a few extra pounds, if you know what I mean. I am way too big for that bathtub. I was like putting a piece, a grain of sand in something that's way too small for it. Well, I guess that's a bad analogy, but you get the idea. I am way too big. Way too big for it. All right, let's go over here and get into this right here. Or actually, we'll get into this one, and we'll just turn the camera. Okay, so while you guys are watching this for a second, you get to go ahead and ride the train. I'm going to go talk to them, see how they're doing, and I shall be right back. And I'm back, everybody. Here we go. Perfect timing. We just got back on the train. I love the trains in this game. This game was a 9 out of 10 when I first started playing it in early access. Then they added the trains, and then it became a 10 out of 10. And then they added the fluids, and they added a whole bunch of other stuff to the game. 11 out of 10. Easy, easy, easy. Remember, this is still early access. This is before the game is even released. It's already an 11 out of 10. I can think of very few others that are this good in early access. And in fact, some most recent ones like Dyson Sphere Program, which is really awesome. Valheim, which is another great one. Of course, we're going to play some Dyson Sphere tomorrow, as well as some Valheim on Saturday night. We're going to be playing that. Going to have lots of fun. Yeah, just Back and forth, back and forth. I don't have to do nothing. Set it and forget it, which is one of the themes of my stream, where you set that stuff up, you let it do its thing, and you move on to the next thing that you need to get going. All right, now here's our piping over here that we were running. We're going to run that in there. I think we need more concrete. Yeah, we need more concrete. All right, I got to go back that way anyway. But that's okay. We'll go ahead and use our vehicle now. Put it there in our hands. We need to go back and get some concrete. Now, I am making plenty of concrete in here. And what I do is I fill up a box full of concrete, and then the whole entire concrete production stops, unless I need it elsewhere. As well as I could run trains just for my transport. As you can see, I was talking a bit about train switching. You can see the switch coming up on the side there, in which I can run a train back and forth and just use it just for transport, as opposed to using it for, doing cargo and stuff like that, cargo and fluids. All right, back here we go. Now, we don't have to even use our hypertube. We can just tool right up the thing here. This is old school here, before they had hypertubes. They had a bunch of cool hypertubes and all sorts of amazing stuff. To the game, incredibly fun. If you haven't played it in a while, highly recommend another playthrough. I start a brand new playthrough, go through it, super, super fun. Now, they also are coming out with another update, update number 4. For this year as well, or update 3, 4, I forget what number it is on. But they're going to actually revamp tier number 7, and then also finally give us tier number 8. Because remember, this game is early access. They're still working on it. All sorts of killer stuff coming. Hope to see that in, and when we get a whole new one, we'll be starting a new playthrough and play through it again. Because I play through quite often, over and over again. Okay, over here, we're looking for concrete. Don't want to get sidetracked. Right over here, we're going to control click that in there. Now, if I have a lot of something right there, like I got a lot of plastic on me there, let's run over here and feed some of that. Oh, wait a minute, it's already full. See, so it's already replenished itself from when we picked it up earlier, which is always a cool thing. You'll see that happen over here, that it's going to replenish. You can see it filling up. Watch as it goes to the next stack. See that? That's because now all my factories turn back on. That's to do with my concrete, and it's going to fill that box, so I'll always have some right there. And I can run it wherever I want, all over the factory. And I have it also running elsewhere, too. So I have it running in multiple directions, doing multiple things. Got to make sure you're making enough, which is what we're doing right now. Figuring out how to make enough of this. Rubber over here, so we don't ever have to worry about it again. We need a lot of it at this stage. We need a lot of it. Which is funny because you don't really need that much, and it makes a lot of it early game, right? So when you get to this one stage, that is the most vital thing that you have to work on, and usually I don't have enough because I just hadn't spent the time on it yet. But now we gotta up our production big time. Let's keep it going. Again, we're gonna run out of something else. We'll have to run back and get it again. I do a lot of running back and forth, a lot. Now, we are going to play Satisfactory for a while here, and then we're going to kind of cut it a little bit short today. Then we're going to play some Factorio, which I've never played, though this game is inspired by Factorio. They have said it themselves, because it's like the gold standard in building. Another fantastic game. And I've watched a lot of people play it. I just never got around to it because I have a gigantic list of games that I'm trying to get to. Now, I think we've got that one done, and we're working on our last 2 sets here. This one here we still need to work on. So these 2 sets right here we still need to work on. So we've got our inputs already going right here, and of course we need power on all of this. So let's go ahead and work on our power up above, which is why we needed some of this concrete, so we can go ahead and fill all this in. I just love the fact you can fill it in from down here. There's just something really smooth and beautiful about the building. Every time, every single time. Remember, I played through like 20, 30 times. I played this for hundreds of hours. And every single time I do these foundations, it's just a dream, everybody. This is the dream of when you started playing building games, right? The first kind of Sim City or whatever it is you played way back in the day. I'm old school. I played Pong when it dropped, bro. That's how old school I am. Yeah, this is the dream of all of those games you played, to just be able to come in and very smoothly build what you want. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this side first. And actually I'm going to bring that out like we have over here. We'll tie that across. And then same thing here. and run that across it. You're going to hear a lot of banging today, everybody working on my bathroom. Going to hear a lot of banging. That's okay. Just roll with it. It'll be fine. You know, the basic rule of life, everybody. If you want to have a happy life, make a happy wife, right? So, my wife always begrudgingly goes into change. She's not much for change. Me, I'm good. Take the bathtub out, put a shower in there, I'm fine. But she begrudgingly goes into change, and then once we've done the change, then she's good. She's good with it. But deciding to change is always the hardest part. That's what I always find is funny. Like, I was setting up her phone, so it's wireless. Gonna hear a lot of that, everybody. A lot of that. So I was setting it up so it was wireless, right? So you can just plug it in, or not have to plug it in every time. So you have to plug it in and be all awkward where you're sitting thing. So I got her a stand to set it, and then I got her a stand in her car so she could use her phone wirelessly. And she, she didn't want to do it. She wanted to do the thing, and she didn't like the thing, and all of that. And then when she had it, she goes, "Oh, this is awesome." You know how it goes. You know how it goes, everybody. All right, let's tie this power across here. Who's there? Ready to tie that now. Not snapping. Sometimes the snapping is a little iffy. Let's go this way. There we go. If it doesn't work one way, do it the other. Well, if it doesn't go one way, do it the other way, and that usually works. There we go. Those are all tied together. Sometimes it's hard to see your things up there too. Turn the light on. I hate when it turns my light off. I just want it to be on and then stay on all the time. This way I can see what the heck's going on. All right, so you notice those have started up. You can see the steam coming from the top of those. And we should start to see some rubber rolling out. How would you know? If it goes down the line like that. You also want to look at your lifters here. Also look inside here to see if it's starting to backlog. If it's starting to backlog, then it's not coming out. Make sure that it's coming out of there. And then over here, coming out of there. There we go. Now this one's going into here, and then this one's converting in petroleum coke. Got it going on. All right, so we got to do this in one here. So we got to do our piping. Again, we're going to line it up. Now we're out of plates. I'm telling you, everybody, always something. Now, I do have some extra stuff over here. Can we catch the trade? No trade? All right, well, we'll go ahead. Again, you always want to pick up your vehicle so you don't end up stranded out in the middle of nowhere. That's why I always keep this little vehicle. You unlock this through your tickets. So you run a bunch of extra stuff in your awesome sink. Unlock that as quick as possible. Epic AFK crossover. You like that? Yeah. Yeah, I don't, I'm too big for baths. I'm too big for baths unless it's a deep tub bath, which we used to have where we used to live before in California, before we moved here to Tennessee. We used to have beautiful, deep bath. It was awesome. But we got here, we just put in a standard tub for the kids. And then I used to have doors on there, you know, sliding doors that they have where you put your towel on and whatnot. And I had those taken off because what happens is with little babies and little kids, you're constantly reaching over that tub and you're putting your arm down on those things where you're trying to, you know, your kid's all splashing and doing all this, they're trying to get your kid out of the bathtub, whatnot. So I had those taken off, and then we just used like a curtain thing in there. But now that my kids are older and we're just going to have a shower, we're getting those doors put back in too. So very, very cool. And you're like, kids, how do you afford all that? YOLO. Again, YOLO, everybody. You gotta, you know, doesn't do you any good when you're dead, so do what you can while you're living, right? Try to make it as comfortable for the family as possible. I still gotta go in there and paint my kids' closet as well. Gotta paint the bathroom as well, since we fixed up my kids' room. My wife been wanting to fix up and paint the bathroom for quite a long time, because my kids have been in there, you know, making holes in the wall and, you know, scratching the walls, and what kids do when they're little. Right, because they're, you know, they're bumping stuff and they're doing all that. As they get older, they don't do that as much. But they do it a lot when they're young. All right, let's go ahead and get some plates. I'm still amazed I haven't used up all these plates in here. Pretty amazing. Let's go ahead and put some of this rubber stuff down here. We got too much of that now. Boom, there we go. That'll give us some room for some plates. Now this plate one is actually not being fed in here. This is since like the beginning of the game, which is pretty crazy. That I still have enough plates left over. Pretty amazing. Now I've got one that has a stack of one. I'm going to take that out. Let's really stack that up. Let's look for anything else we might need. We've got wire. Maybe a little bit more copper sheets. We've got plastic. Alright, just again, we got a bunch of heat sinks on us too. Let's go over here and kind of replenish. Oh, we're out of copper wire. Okay. We're out of copper sheets, actually. No worries. Running over here. I love the jetpack. I'm just pressing the spacebar. You can get really, really far just by using that momentum. Pressing that spacebar. Still going. There we go. How convenient that I'm over here right where my copper is producing a bunch of stuff. Now it's producing wire there. And then over here, we're producing more wire. And so what we want to do is find out where our copper sheets are going. Look at that wire's backlog. I want to find out where our copper sheets are going. Go back here. See, we're running some screws up in here. Making some poles there. Oh, man, I don't even remember where I'm running them sheets from. Now, another way to do this, by the way, is to go down into the run lines and then trace the run lines to see where it's coming from. Could have sworn it was over here somewhere. Let's go ahead and run down here. And we can see where all this stuff is running. That's running there. This is running this way. And look at this. Look at this bit of conveyor fun that's going on in here. You're like, God, this is so complex, Kismet. Well, it's not really that complex. It's really not. It's because I did one thing at a time, right? If you break it down to one thing at a time, it's not complex. It looks complex now because I have it already all built up. Remember, I did one machine at a time, or maybe multiple, and then connected them together. But this is one group at a time. As you're going through the game, you'll make one thing, and then you'll add on another thing, and it's really not that hard. It just looks more complex because I'm adding complexity every time I add something else. And so when you look at it at the end, of course, it looks like crazy complex. Kismet, I could never do that. It's so complex. Yeah, you can do this. Anybody can. Anybody can. Even if you don't even bother with the numbers or finding that equilibrium, you can still play the game and have a great time without even worrying about it. All right, so we're looking around for it. There's our motors going up there. We got all of our pipes and stuff running. And whatnot. Now I have a central area in which I'm kind of running all of these lines from one place to another. So I'm just kind of looking along that area. Again, look at that extra stuff running there. I absolutely don't remember where I was making those. I know they run along here though, and I know we're using them, so we'll just run along down here and try to remember. Now I do have sleep apnea and vertigo, so I remember or I forget stuff almost instantly now. I can tell you stuff from the past from way long time ago, but new information has a bit of difficulty staying in there. Now it could be one of these lines here that we're using. This. There's that rubber. Look at that rubber backlogging now. Nice. That's what we want to see. Man, where are those copper sheets? I feel like our copper sheets are running here somewhere. I'm using my jetpack to hold me up so I can look. I thought it was like one of these lines here. Well, those are computers. Where was I running them copper sheets? Oh, I'm definitely running them somewhere. Now, another way to find it is to use to figure out where your copper sheets are being used. right, and what machine they're being used to figure out where they would be feeding to, right? So you can start where they're feeding to in backlog. I kind of feel like I'm diverting these way out over here, I think I was, to be used out this way. I can see I've got some copper ignits going down the line there, down this way. Those are coming in and then converting that way, and then probably running way over there to be done. Kind of interesting that I'm running the copper ignits and not the actual finished item. Very rarely do I run iron like that. This is smelting and running that along, which is probably running all the way to our nuclear power. Yeah, I have no idea. I forget. Rubber there. Now again, the more complex you get in, the more problems you're going to have. Remember what you did before. But it's definitely out here. Now another way we could track that down is we can track down where the original lines are coming from over here. As you can see, I've got a lot of lines running from the original sources. A lot of these are pure nodes as well. Now one of these is going to be copper, which is most likely this one. There's my copper node going along there. And so we can just track down that center copper and just follow it in that direction and see where it ends up. We're going to go ahead and follow that copper, and it comes right to here. And you can see it diverting. And we're diverting it into here, which is feeding up into these lines, which is feeding up into those. All right. Now here in front of that, it's also making our copper sheets. See, there we go. We tracked it down. And there they go. So they're running down that way, and they are diverting right over there. Ah, I was right here. So they're coming, we got that going that way. These are all merging this way, and then running all the way over here, up and around, down, across there, and all of that. Now, why am I looking for those? Well, I'm looking for those because I might need some. So it's good to kind of refresh your memory of where your stuff was, which is actually fairly close to where I am. I can also go in and see if it's backlogged. If it's backlogged, I can grab some out of there. Or I can just cut the line at the end, and then it will backlog a bunch, and I can grab them that way. But I obviously need more production of my copper sheets there. Definitely going to need that later on. Let's go back to what we're doing and get it going. What's your thoughts on Update 14? Oh, I can't wait. It looks like we're going to get batteries or something. I don't know what that is. It looks kind of like a big old battery. That's what it reminds me of anyway. That's my guess. I don't really know. I don't have any, inside information. And then it looks like we're also going to be getting, of course, a revamped aluminum tier with a whole bunch of new machines and whatnot as well. I love everything they're doing in this game. I love all the changes. I love what they're doing. Now, see, some people, they build giant factories, and then they get all upset when they change the game. I don't mind at all. I'll just start a new playthrough every single time. I don't build a ginormous factory that I keep in every single playthrough. I feel like that's not my thing. My thing is to just kind of start from fresh, feel what it feels like now to play through the game. Because I've actually gone in and changed the game dramatically many times, like your recipe splits and the setups of your recipes and stuff. Don't mind at all, because I find it's always progressing toward a good place, and I dig it. I dig it big time. All right, so this is the heavy oil residue is stopped there, most likely because our petroleum coke is stopped. We'll fix that as well. Now let's get back to this. Let's see, we've got all of these. Now, it doesn't say no power anymore, and we can see we've got our fluid there, which is stopped. And then over here, this one doesn't have any heavy oil residue, which tells me that the back of it is not plugged in yet. So we go over here. Ah, yeah. See, that's what we were working on before. Now let's go ahead and make it nice, everybody. We're going to go ahead and line this up like this. Again, move it by 2, rotate it, click that in, run that across over to here. Oh, we haven't done this side yet. All right, let's do this side. Ran that on this side. And then 2 this way. And then make it nice. Make it nice. And then over here, same thing. We're going to use a splitter. Now, I'm just pressing buttons on my mouse. I have one of the greatest mouses of all time, the Razer Naga, with the 12 buttons on the side. So if you're wondering how I'm doing all of these functions down here, I'm just pressing those buttons on the side. Highly recommend it. It's the only mouse I use now. I basically take any other mouse and just throw it into a box. Like even on my Mac over there, I've got a Razer Naga for when I'm doing 3D animations and videos and stuff like this. Stuff like that. I'm the everything man. I'm here doing the streaming. I'm here doing the video editing. I'm here doing the website and the Discord and all of that. Of course, if you do know great people, feel free to let me know. You know, the hardest thing is finding reliable people you can rely on to, you know, be very consistent in what they do. Very, very tough, which is funny irony because of my medical conditions, I'm a lot less reliable myself, and thus I recognize the irony of wanting people to be reliable when you yourself have a medical conditions that make it tough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there. You know what? I'm gonna cut that short. Right there, and then kind of end it right there. All right, there we go. So, we got some separate lines there. Oh, I forgot. We have more lines being run across. Those are our feed lines for our nuclear power. That's no problem. We'll fix that. Go ahead and bring that down. Bring that under. Like that. Now, the cool thing is about your lifters, you can control the height of it all you want. And bring that way down. And right into there it goes. Now, again, look at that angle, right? We can make that angle better. Go ahead and bring that out like this. Line that up, turn it like this, move it forward by 2. And now we got a nice 90 there. Take a little extra time, make it beautiful. Again, notice it already knows the direction. It's converted the direction to go that way, and now it's running that into the Awesome Sync, which is great. And you're like, oh, Kismet, you're running too much stuff there. Nah, it's fine. It will have a lot backlogged in there to start. But eventually, this belt, which is running at 780, will be just fine. That needs to come down just a little bit. Let's take this out. It'll be fine, believe me. Once it actually empties out, it'll be good. What? I literally just ran out of aluminum sheets. I ran out of aluminum sheets at that very second. That was the other thing we should have grabbed, aluminum sheets. Okay, so let's go ahead and run back up, get ourselves some aluminum sheets. We're going to do a lot of this back and forth stuff. I do have my vehicle. Unless we see the train. Let's go. You got to put up with stuff when you got construction going on. Just got to do what you got to do. So super excited for update 4. Can't wait to try it out. Now, one of the things I suggest if you are going to be building really far away from your base is to put a bunch of extra materials there. Oh, look at that right there. Bunch of extra. That's what I did with that copper sheets. I put them right there. That's going to be helpful. Is to take a bunch of resources and just put them in the area that you're building, right? Bring a bunch of extra resources. We might want to do that. We probably want to do that in the beginning, but we're fine. I don't mind running back and forth. It happens a lot in this game. You do a lot of running back and forth across your factory and whatnot. I find it fun. You know, it kind of breaks up what you're doing, right? You're just going for a little drive, and then you're driving back, and so on and so forth. Very, very fun. Should let it get checked. What checked? What are you talking about? Good day. What exactly is the purpose of this game? That is a fantastic question. The name of this game, of course, is called Satisfactory. And it is a factory building game. It's an exploring game, a factory building game. And right now it's in early access. So basically what you do is you start off, you are a employee of the Mega Space Corporation, Fix It. And they go ahead and send you down here to collect some resources. Now, of course, It's going to be a struggle at the beginning. You ain't going to start with a big giant mega base like this. You basically want to go in. You can play multiplayer with your friends as well. And you go ahead and say collect, you find some ore for some iron, right? So you go ahead and you put your extractor in there. And early on, you're going to have, your smaller extractors. And then eventually the ability to extract at a much higher rate, which is what we're working on right now, the highest level stuff in the game. And then you extract that iron ore and you put it into a machine, and that machine is going to start making plates, right? And so you do that, and then you're like, okay, I can use these plates to make another machine that's also going to make rods. And then you can make another machine that makes screws. And then you're like, well, so what, Kismet? Well, if you take your rods and your screws, and then you take the rods and you convert them into screws, then you can go ahead and make your next level thing, which is your reinforced iron plates. Then you can make a bigger machine, which makes other things, and so on, till eventually you're making a whole bunch of resources, like me. Like you can see, I'm making some concrete there, making iron plates. There's those rods and screws I was talking about. There's those reinforced iron plates. We've got this, we've got that, and so on, so on. I don't want to spoil too much of it for you, but here you go. Look at this. And you can make all of this stuff, which makes bigger and bigger machines. And then what you do is you send that stuff up to the corporate office in space through your space elevator, and you unlock more patterns and bigger things until you get to the Kismet level, where you're running trains all over the place like I'm doing over here at the end. You got nuclear power going way off in the distance. You can see it way back there. Look at all that nuclear power. Way back there, you can unlock jetpacks and vehicles and all sorts of stuff. You can automate it all. Incredibly fantastic game. This is one of the few games I've ever seen that is an 11 out of 10 in early access. Remember, it's not even done yet. They're going to add even more cool stuff to it. It's like 20, 30 bucks, depending on whether you find it on sale. I've literally played it for hundreds of hours over years and watched it develop over years. And that's why I am with early access games. I'll play them for a while, see what's new, enjoy them, not necessarily do everything in the game, and then I'll come back when they do an update and we'll check in on it again. I did it on mini games along the way. And you'll see me play a lot of early access and beta games here on the stream. Sometimes I'll just show you the game, and then sometimes we'll get into it deep like we do in Satisfactory. And again, look at that nuclear power. Look at the nice sun up there. Yeah, nuclear power running way over there. Lots and lots of power. And so you got all these different factories and all these different resources that you're feeding in. And of course, as you get up into the higher and higher resources, it's getting more and more different elements you need. We're working on the highest end item right now in the game, though they are adding a bunch of new stuff to the game this year. So very cool. So if you snatch it up now, you're going to get all that for free. They don't have any DLC, by the way, in this game, or microtransactions. They're also working on my house, by the way, if you hear that noise in the background. They don't have any DLC, no microtransactions, none of that crap. It's for PC on Steam and on Epic Game Store. I highly recommend it. This is an instant buy from me. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they also eventually are going to come out with private servers, so you and your buddies can play and have a great time, and one person's working on that and the other person's working on this. I can't wait for that. I know I'm going to set up a mega server, and we're all going to have a good time playing some Satisfactory, that's for sure. Now, while we're doing that, everybody, we also play a little side game called Stream Raid. It's very fun. Everybody in the chat's playing. Look at all those peeps over there. Everybody in the chat's playing together. We're going to try to win some loot. Let's do it. Should let it get checked. Rain noises coming from the cart. Exactly. There we go. So that's what the purpose of the game is. I highly recommend checking it out. It's pretty awesome. So Space Factory Simulator. Yeah, that's a great way to sum it up there, DYL. Great way to sum it up. It is very, very fun. It's inspired by, of course, Factorio, which we're actually going to play later today, here in just a bit. We're going to play that in just a bit, everybody. Going to be very fun. I've never played Factorio. Do you know that? It's been on my list forever. I just haven't got around to it because I have a list just like I'm sure a lot of you. You've got a stack of games you haven't even got to yet. Me, I've got so many games, I don't have time to play them all, but I at least try to give a little bit of a, a little taste of those particular games. It might be your next favorite game. You never know. All right, grab some rewards here. We've got Subi, Matt, and Taco all getting some love, and John coming in MVP. Nice job. All right, let's go ahead. Oh, look at that. We're way in the bonus levels now, man. We're crushing it. Crushing it. All right, where are we going on to next? Let's go on to the mystery battle again. Not even going to hesitate. Bringing in, oh, this one. Oh, yeah, bringing in the Wasteland Tycoon for this one. Now, This one's a little tough, everybody. If you haven't played this one before, I'm sure a lot of you have. I want to cluster in the center, but you also want to put some tanks around the outside. What happens is they come around like this and try to sweep and try to take out our support. Again, love the battle tactics. I've been the guild leader of my team and also the founder of my team for 18 years with over 800 members. That's one of the longest running gaming guilds. So yeah, so put down some tanks or some warriors or something just to prevent them from sweeping. All right, then we'll let that run. Let's get back to it. Okay, so what do we got over here? Okay, so we ran over here. Well, I forgot why I was up here. Oh, I was just showing you a bit about what the game's all about. Aluminum, that was the other thing. Coming over here to grab some aluminum. Let's get some of that before we head out. Right over here, what do we got a bunch of? We got some plates now. Grab a little bit of that aluminum there. Anything else we can go ahead and get off of us here? I've got too many computers on me right now. Now, I do have computers and all this high-level stuff. Really, when you get to reinforced iron plates, it's going to be your first hurdle. And then computers and things like that are definitely going to be another hurdle for you as you go. Oh, I still have all those heat sinks on me. Let's go ahead and get rid of those as well. Now, what happens all the time in most of these games, when you're doing building games or anything like that, is your inventory management. You're going to run out of inventory a lot, and then kind of manage that. Now, what's happening over here is I'm making a bunch of heat sinks. Now, I've got this box in between, which makes it really convenient, because I can just go right here, put these extra ones that I picked up when I was setting up the factory originally, and I can just literally just feed them into there, and you can watch them go firing out, and they just go down the line where they can be used. And then now I have that inventory space free to get me some more aluminum sheets. And you're going to see that I run a lot of my stuff, 2 boxes for my use, right? One of the things you want to learn very early on is to always have some resources for your use versus it actually being used to produce stuff in the factory. And I have everything already set up where I can go and grab it or get whatever I need. All right, let's go ahead and do a little sneaky flying across here. One of the things they are working on, and they said they worked on it, let's go and see if they fixed it, is what I call the old school launcher. So what we do is we put a conveyor pole like this. Now, before they had hypertubes, this is how we used to get around. What we would do is we would get a conveyor belt, the fastest one we could get, and then we would aim it in the direction in which we normally end up going. We would get on it, and then no, it still doesn't work. What it does, when you hit that edge, it slows you down. But what it normally used to do is launch you clear across, and it would keep that momentum going so you can get from one place to another. Like in this case, I'm gapping this whole entire area. That's where we were. That's where we are now, right? So that's a pretty big gap to help me go across. But what you can also do is you can run, right? You can run and then jump, and that run speed will keep your momentum going as well from one place to another. Okay, we're going to get this done, everybody. We're going to get this done. We already actually ramped it up big time over here. Let's get back in here, see where we left off. We were running this. We were getting this going in here. We're running our underlines. That's what we're doing. We're running all the stuff down below. Down here. All right, there we go. We literally ran out. I think we're connecting the last piece, and we ran out right here. There we go. All right, get that in there. Oh, that's still a little high there. Again, I like to fine tune it. If I feel like it can get a little fine tuning, I prefer it to come down and then go up. I don't know. That's just me. That's just the way I like it. You can keep on fine tuning until you get exactly. But that's good enough. All right, that's going to run that. Now what we should see way down here at the end, the underrun that's coming out of our thing that we're looking for, which is our rubber, we should see a lot of it pumping out, right? Remember, we're only seeing like 1 or 2 every now and again, and now we're seeing a lot more pumping out of there, because we're going to need a lot of that for sure. Now we can also follow this line all the way to the end and see where it's ending up, and see if it's backlogging, or see if we need even more than we've already got. Again, reason why I'm running that other stuff into the awesome sink is I never wanted it to stop. I wanted to constantly go, because when it stops, then the rest of my factory stops because it doesn't have enough resources. So let's just go ahead and keep on running. Now look at all these lines I've ran here in the mega base. This is nothing, everybody. This is really nothing compared to what you could do. You could do some massive, massive projects. Look down there. Look down there. I got some water extractors down there extracting. You want to see something else cool? Look at this. Look at all of that. That's my coal power doing its coal power thing down there, which is providing power, which makes all the rest of this run. I have coal power, oil power, and also nuclear power doing it. I have way, way more power than I need. And again, I would love to have this game where it had blueprinting, where you could just like put something down and then copy that and then keep doing that same thing again. I feel like that would be awesome. They do have a lot of mods that have that kind of stuff in it. I do not play mod. I don't even use alternate recipes. The reason why is anything that I do on stream, you guys can do as well. You don't need a special recipe that you find in game or anything like that. You can do it all the way to turbo motors, which is what we're working on now, without ever needing to use alternate recipes. Though they are very useful because, of course, they take less resources and less time and all that. All right, radio control units are still pumping out there. You can see that this is full. And if that's full, that means we're producing more rubber than we're actually using, which is awesome. I also need to run some over here into this machine, which is the actual thing that makes the finished thing that we need, which is our turbo motors. That's what we need right there. And then we can start upgrading. And then here's the thing. Once you get the turbo motors, you can then go upgrade all of your extractors, and then your extractors are extracting more, which means that you're making more, and so on and so on. It's like a perpetual cycle that continually helps you out. And we're going to try to get this done today. We really only got one thing left to do. We've got to find a way to feed through all of this fun here. We got to find a way to feed it right to here, right? So we got to get our stuff from over there to over here. Now I can also just say, hey, hold on a second. If I'm feeding it over here somewhere, right, I can try to feed it up, split it, and try to run it through here. Now, one of the things that will happen when you're doing like wall hanging and things like that is that if you do it right, you can go ahead and just make it go right through there, right? You can make it go through that particular edge and not hit any other conveyors. That's what I always am trying to do. By the way, if you're trying to get past this stuff, you hit C for crouch to get past there. And then here we go again. So again, we're backlogging a lot of stuff. In this case, computers there. We've got that going there, and then our rubber going right here. Do we have a box to backlog our rubber? We do not. Okay, there's no box to backlog that rubber right there. Let's go ahead and take this out. See if we got some room up here. We do. Okay, we got some room up here. Let's take this out right here, and then we're going to add a storage. Now, why are we going to add a storage? Well, this is going to allow it to backlog while we're working here and continue to run this particular rubber into this box while we're going to go ahead and split it and work with it. Right there. All right. Now, it's really easy to split this. And our goal is to get it right there, right? If we get it right there, we're good. Now, a great way to do this is to actually bring this one forward and to run it right there. Now, that's going to allow me to get it right there and then straight across from the other side. But what I'm going to do is, because this is a dual box, I can run it from the top and the bottom. So I can just run this from the bottom right over to here and then control when we want to go up to there. Now, I actually suggest doing it the opposite direction. This way, but I'm going to go ahead and do this first. We're going to say, okay, we want to line it up right to there. And the reason why I want to do that first is so it will actually change the direction. Once I snap it onto the end piece here, it's going to change the direction. There we go. To the opposite direction. You're going to see it go that way if it connects properly. Now, notice how it didn't do it there. Sometimes it gets confused as to which way to go. So that's why I run this line first and then run that up to there, so the direction is correct, and you can see that it's run the rest of those lines. Your line direction is very, very important. Very, very important. We're going to run that across there. Oh, very nice. No clipping. Yeah, very nice, very nice. And then I try not to clip anything, but, you know, some of the stuff, there's nothing you can do about it. All right. And then we're going to bring that out like so. And we're going to go ahead and bring it way out here. Because this is really the, like, if you want to do everything in the game, this is pretty much the last thing that you usually get working. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to do this one on the outside, like that. This one I'm going to go ahead and run on the inside, and then inside again. That one's going to go to there. And now we need one more thing. One more thing in which we've already made. And we made it at the very early stages of the game. And that is our whole entire base. And I'm going to show you how I got started way over here. Basically what we did is we ran in our very first resources, which is going to be, of course, our iron, our copper, and our limestone, which converts into concrete. And so way over here, we brought in some concrete, right? Now this concrete is coming from way down there. Way down there. Is that cool or what, everybody? I call that the epic lifter there, resource lifter. So it's lifting it from way down there, up along this lifter, up to the top, bringing it across, and then bringing it down into our underrun. I built all of that, everybody. I built all of this from scratch. It's very, very fun. I highly recommend. Again, name of the game is Satisfactory. Highly recommend it. And so we run it across here. We brought our resources down into our under level, and then we went and took those resources and we ran them up. And of course, we did a little fancy here. We've got walkways and all sorts of cool stuff. Look how awesome that looks, right? Doesn't that look amazing? It's not only when you're, making it functional, but also make it look awesome with all that under running and whatnot. So that is our concrete. Then we went and we made our Kismet rule of 8. 8 conveyors, or the infinity symbol if you turn it sideways, to find the equilibrium in numbers. Again, these are plates, and then the next one is plates. That's 2. Third one is plates. That's 3. And then over here, this is number 4 constructor. That's iron rods. And we're going to do 2 iron rods. That's number 5. And then we take the iron rods, we run them underneath and then back into these constructors. And these constructors make screws. And there's 3 of those. And that makes 8. Right? So that makes 8 of these all the way across. And what do? Well, they go down below here. We go down here and take a little look right over here. We can see our plates coming out of there and our screws coming out of there. They come out of here and they run over here to our reinforced iron plates. Now, before that, we do have some smelters, and those smelters are smelting down the ingots, which are running into those right over there. And then these are making about 10 reinforced iron plates at the same time. Then we did the exact same thing again over here, and you can see I've got 8 more. And at the end of these, I've got my actual plate making assemblers here, and again making reinforced iron plates. We're making 10 and 10, or 5 and 5, sorry, to make 10, and then that's making 5 and 5 to make 10. So that's 20 reinforced iron plates right there. Now there's a whole bunch of other resources over here which has to do with sulfur and making gunpowder and explosives and all of that. We're just going to skip all that for right now. And then again, more forges. These forges, of course, making even more stuff, like more rods there. And then over here you can see we've got a bunch of assemblers working away over here making modular frames. Now, why is this important? Well, all of this stuff leads to the very item. Everything that you see pretty much on this side of the factory, on this side of the road, and then a little bit on that side, does one thing, right? From way back there, from way back where we were, all the way up through here, all the way into here, all of this stuff here, more forges, more different stuff here, like we're doing all of our steel. Our steel's being run here, our steel beams and our pipes. Over here you can see we're doing a bunch of that. There's our pipes there being run down and then run into the next stage of the factory. See, I've got them colored. You can color your stuff different colors, green, blue, whatever. They're actually adding a cool change to the game where you can have unlimited colors. Whatever color you want, you can just pick it from a color wheel and do it, which is awesome. And then it goes to here. Now, on this left side here, what it's doing is creating some encased industrial beams, right? We need those for running certain stuff or making certain items. And then over here, it's making rotors. The next one is making more rotors. This one right here we'll skip. We'll come back to that one. Oh, wait, I think that also is our rotors. Yep, that's rotors. This is the one we'll skip. We'll come back to that one. And then on this side, stators. And then on this side, stators again. Now remember, we're using steel pipe and wire that wire's coming from over here. Like, dang, Kismet, this is complex. Well, it's not that complex if you just do it one thing at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to think of the whole thing when you first start playing. Now, later on, I can back trade, right? I can go, okay, now I understand the game mechanics. I'm trying to make this thing way down here. What do I need to do way back in the earlier stages? And that's how I built this base, is I got to a point where I said, hey, I want to make some motors. How do I make motors? Well, I need rotors and stators. And then I said, okay, well, what do I need to make rotors and stators? And then work your way backwards until you get all the way to the raw ore and how much raw ore you need in all of that stuff. Actually, you've done charts and all that stuff. You go check out my YouTube channel. You can check out that video called The Kismet's Rule of 8, or you can just search Kismet's Rule of 8 on YouTube. You can find the link right there in the chat. Feel free to thumbs up that if you do like that video. I actually have 2 sections in the video. One section which shows you a bit about what I showed you there in more depth. And then another section where I actually chart it out, where you can see step by step exactly how I did it, exactly how it works. And once you understand how to set up that equilibrium, you're able to blueprint and continually expand your factory again and again and again. And you can have a ginormous factory making all your stuff run. But this is what we need right here. This is the last piece of the puzzle that we're running, which is our motors. Now we're going to follow these motors down the line here because they are running back to the box right now. They're actually not being used for anything other than to run to my box over here. There they go, cutting across there. Again, trying to run down your lines from before. Now you can pre-plan this out a bit better. It's in the center one coming through here. And you can plan it out even better than what I've done here. At some point, what you're going to need to do is come back to your factory and retool it again and again so that you can optimize it not only for function, but for aesthetics as well. And that's normally what I would do. I would come in here and redo all of these lines. Now I know what lines and where they're coming from and all of that. Very fun. Tear it down, rerun them again, or just leave them. It's up to you. It's your factory. You do whatever you want. All right, so we're running that down the center. Now what we want to do is we want to look for that rubber as we're going along, because the rubber is running the place where we want to go, right? Like I believe it's this one right here. Oh, that's petroleum coke. That's petroleum coke. So what we want to do is look at where we're trying to go. Back this way. Again, you get so many lines running, sometimes it gets a little few. There it is. We're trying to go right here. And so we've got our rubber line running right here, already down here, and we left some extra space to run another line because I think ahead. And so we want to tap into that line and run it across there, right? And we know that these lines up here are the one that is holding on to my motors, that middle one right here. So we're going to take that out, and that's going to say, okay, that's where that's coming from. So I've got to get that from over there to run along this same line. Now, I don't have to necessarily take it out. I can go ahead and leave it. The biggest problem is that I've got other lines next to it. And those other lines are blocking my ability to tap into it, because if I try to put something on it, it's going to clip, and I don't like that. So we're going to go ahead and take this one out right here. And you're like, wait a minute, what about that line? Well, that line we're going to fix. Actually, let's fix it a little bit further. Let's go ahead and do this, because if I go ahead and again go down like this, it's going to clip through those other lines, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and run it here, and we're going to leave those lines in. But on the next part here, we're going to see if we can kind of readjust this or adjust it in some way. Maybe move it over a little bit, create a little extra dog leg there. Maybe something like this. And then take that out. Something like that. And then now we've got to work it in so it goes down that side, right? So how can we do that? Well, we could run it under, we could run it over. We can also run it in the opposite direction. Run it in the opposite direction, and it will still turn it the correct way. Kind of run it down like this. Just kind of maneuver it so it's going the way we want it to go. Then again, we want to get it in there and hit this one right here, right? How do we do that? Well, we can also use our lifters, which are going to help us a lot, right? To control the height of the object, exactly where we want it to run. Right there. looking at where it's at. I'm going to put another one on top. I'm going to run it from here onto the lifter. Again, this is how you control the height of all your belts and all that stuff. And then control it and run it down in there. I think that's one of the coolest things in the game, is that you have that power and that control of how you're running it and getting it in there. And again, we can go in and redo all of these lines and readjust it and do all that, make it super clean. But we'll just do what we got to do in the moment, right? In this case. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a splitter up here, and that's going to allow me to not only run this to the box that I'm using over there, but also divert this back in the direction that I want it to go, right? I want it to go back over here, and then run it down the line. Now, of course, it'd be nice if I could run it up above, or I could run it somewhere in there. But what I want to do is I want to tap it in to one of these areas here, like probably right here, or just run it forward, right? Just run it from there over here, because we're in the last line. We don't have to make it too difficult on ourselves. This is the last line run that I really need to do at this point. And then I can go ahead and run it up above, like that, and then run it back down, and so on. And now, once we tie it into here, or we tie it in over a little bit, now we've already got these lines run, right? We've already got these lines run, so we can just go ahead and go along those lines. A little problem there, right? Little problem there, that's in the way. Let's go ahead and take this out. Now what's going to happen sometimes when you're doing this is that, you're going to have these little boxes start to drop. And what that is, that means you've got too much of that particular resource dropping on the ground, because my inventory is full. So what I'm going to do is fly up here for just a moment, like this. We got going here. That's for our batteries for in a minute. What I'm going to do is just fly up here and do another box. There we go. And I'm going to put all the stuff that I have on me. I love the store all button. It really makes it easy. Store all that in there. We can go ahead and pick up this rubber here, and we're going to go ahead and put that into there. And same thing here. Because we're now going to divert this over to there, and then make another one of these in the center, and then control all of that. There we go. Very nice. Now we're going to run this other one. I'm going to say probably we're running this over here. Running that to the right. So it's got to be on the left side of it. So we got to run... Oh, we got to run that one on the outside. On that side. Oh, so it actually would have been better to leave it as is. So let's move... Let's keep the rubber in the center. Now, what we got there is they're flipped now. Right? They're flipped in the other direction. And I need to flip them the other way, because this one runs in and then splits in two there. And then I need to run this one out on the left side. And then it's going to curve around and end up where we need it to go. So this right here needs to be flipped. The second I saw that, I was like, okay. Now, the great thing is it's going to be real easy. We've only got to back up a few of these, right? And then we can say, okay, this line belongs on that side. And this line is going to be on that side. Not too bad. Not too bad. Easy peasy. And then this is going to end up here. And this is going to go to the outside here. This is going to run to this box. Go grab any extra stuff up here. Run that into there. We need to put down over here all of this into there. Yeah, hold on. We got to put all this. Oh, wait, we'll do this first. We'll make another one of these first. Say like that. And then go over here. Store all of that. Good to keep your jetpack fuel on you, just in case. And then we'll get all the rubber out of there. Before we run this line, make sure that you don't have like mixed stuff in there, otherwise you're going to run into trouble later. It'll stop your conveyor belt from going. And there we go. So now we got that going. We're going to run that into there, finish that up. All right, we're in the final stages here, everybody, of our of this particular playthrough of Satisfactory. Very, very fun. Incredibly fun game. Highly recommended. Again, And then we're going to run that up into that one, and then we're going to split this one down into here, like so. And then same thing here. We're going to go and run this right up here. Try to get that lined up nicely. Okay, something like that. Make sure it's not clipping. Oh, works good. Run this up into there. All right, there we go. Or that's it, everybody. That's it. We got that whole part done. All we need to do now is take the rest of these motors and run them in there. Let's just make sure that it is coming down the line. It is. Okay, great. Those are all coming down the line. They're going to fill up this box and backlog in there. So we'll have another whole box full of them. And then we're going to run this down the line. And all we got to do is just feed our motors in there. We're going to be making turbo motors all day, every day. Now, one cool thing about this game, if you are waiting for particular resources, we'll go and crouch our way through there. If you're waiting for resources, you can just set the game running. Just let it run, and then later on, you'll have no problem because you just let it run and run. Now, this one's going to run across here, and I'm going to kind of control a little bit with our conveyor pipes, or our conveyor poles. And we'll run that into there. And there is our final run. Our motors that we spend so much time on getting working, we'll get those into there. Now, I can see that it's not running, so if there's something that's not running, that we're missing a piece somewhere, right? We're missing a piece between there and there. Aha! So we got to go back, connect that. If you don't see anything on that conveyor, because it should be doing this. There we go. There we go. That we missed the spot. There it goes, filling that up. And now our first turbo motors in this particular playthrough, though I have done it many times before, are firing up. And there we go, everybody. We've done the hardest thing in the game. Now, what we're doing here is just the beginning of what you can do. You can then, of course, scale it up again and again and again. You can build multiple of these, or you can basically overclock this particular one, and then you don't have to rerun the lines. We could be making a crazy ton of turbo motors. Now, what do we need turbo motors for? Well, turbo motors make the highest end stuff in the game, which is our miner level 3. Now, our miner level 3 basically will extract at 3 times the level of the original. We're going to go ahead and wait for some here. We only need 5 turbo motors. Now, all this stuff that I did, I could have just went and made the turbo motors myself, but it's nice to automate it, because then what you can do is literally do this. Just stand up here on the top, or stand over this way and watch it work. Just stand over here on the top, and then hands off, walk away, and you're good to go, right? Now, when I look down the back here and I see that one of these things is not feeding, then it's got, okay, hold on. Why is it not feeding? Right? What is it not feeding into here? Right? And I can see that that is the rubber, right? Why is the rubber not coming through there? Why is there no more left down that line? So that's a trigger right there to say, hey, let's go check it out. Go figure out why we don't have a backlog of that rubber, because we had a bunch of it going. Okay, we looked there. That's going there. Hold on. We've got a little bit of a problem again right here. Again, always be watching those conveyors. Sometimes they get funky chicken. Let's take all this back out. Take this out. See, we've got 2 conveyor poles stacked on top of each other. That's what's causing that weirdness. And then, again, fine-tune this. Again, I have a whole box full of that. We made a lot of extra, so it shouldn't have a problem zooming that down the line like that. Okay, there we go. Again, always look for those issues, and you will do much better in the game. There we go. And then we go watch it again. And now it's what I call set it and forget it, right? You just set it up, you take your hands off, and you're good. Now you can literally let this game run for hours. Just leave it running on your PC. You can have a crazy ton of turbo motors going on. Let me catch up on the chat a bit. I've been focused big time. The purpose is to make stuff, then throw it away in the points bin. There you go, Jesse. Yeah, we do that a lot. Yeah, Space Factory Simulator. Exactly. Very, very fun. Riverdog coming in and says, hi, kids in chat. Hey, Riverdog, my awesome mod. Riverdog, back me up today. Show him some love in the chat. Everybody make his job nice and easy by following those chat rules. Let's see. Raz coming in and says, hey, Kismet, have you played the new map on Stardew Valley on your own time? I have not. I have not played the new map. Man, all the changes in Stardew Valley look amazing. I've never made it past year 2 in Stardew Valley, and I've only started the one map, the first map. It's because I just don't have enough time. Incredibly fun game. I own it on every single platform. Good timing. I own it on PC, on PS4. I own it on Xbox, on the Switch. I own it everywhere. Incredibly fantastic game, for sure, for sure. All right, everybody, we got a little battle going on. Start battle action while we're waiting for some of those turbo motors to come out. And then we're going to go ahead and upgrade a thing, and I think we'd be good for today. Then we're going to switch over, play a bit of Factorio, and probably head out a little early today. Again, there's construction going on in my house, so it's going to get real loud very soon. It's already been a little loud, but it's going to get even louder here in a bit. How's the win? I was totally focused there. Totally focused. All right, open the captain's chest. Bam! 50 gold going to Mighty Warforged. Hey, Warforged, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you as always. Rob coming in. We got Trace coming in as well. And Taco getting some love. Here, Luna getting some extra love there as well. And Subi with a big number. Subi is just a beast at this game. 32 kills right there. Way to go, Subi. MVP yet again. I wish I could press a button and give you something extra there. But I like to randomly do this stuff. So this way, even someone who just started playing Stream Raiders, you never know, they might get some epic loot as well. That's why I love to randomize the loot. More fair that way. All right, start battle. Let's go, everybody. Let's do it. How's our orc looking here? 109 minutes. Not going to happen. Let's go ahead and check our quest before we put them down. More bombers. That's right. I've got to put some bombers down. We're on the boss. Don't want to use my bomber on the boss. I want to use my tanky tank, and this is why I have so many extra scrolls. Look at that, 1,119 extra scrolls, and I already have 2 max level tanks. That's why I have so many scrolls. Is because I use my tank so that we can bring in those big W's as often as possible. All right, let's go over here. Let's look in the box now. Let's see how many we got. Oh, we already got 11. It only takes 5 to upgrade those Mark 3s. I've not done Mark 3s in a while as well, because normally I don't get this far before I restart. But can't wait to try what's new, what's coming out here for Satisfactory. Again, this game is really, really phenomenal. We're coming to the end of this particular playthrough, so very, very fun. Again, we can keep going if we want. We can keep building up the factory and doing all of that. I just love to, you know, challenge myself to get to turbo motors and set turbo motors up. And then basically I've figured out how to do everything in the game, how to do all the resources and tap the resources and connect the resources. Again, I don't like to do everything in a game when it's in early access. I like to fool around with it and then look for the updates and then check the updates. Okay, we don't have enough of those things, and we only have 4 slots free right there. So let's put some of our plates back over here. Always a good place to have a spot to put stuff. I'm going to put them all back and then say take 2 out. So we're going to need 6 of the items. Now, I don't actually need to make them here because you can make them everywhere as you want. Valheim looks like wow. Well, it looks awesome. I don't know if it's really a wow. I don't know if it's like Wild World of Warcraft, or you're just saying it looks wow as in awesome. Not sure what you mean there, but I'm going to say you're assuming it's World of Warcraft. It actually more like looks more like a Rust or a 7 Days to Die, that style of thing, or an Ark if you're into Ark. More like that style of gameplay, and I love that because it's where you work together to do all sorts of epic stuff in that game. We've now set it for Saturday, so feel free to come and join us. We might do a stream takeover with Valheim as well, so you guys can come and join and play with us on our mega server. We're gonna have up to 10 people on there by default, but I actually can host 64 people on mine. So there you go. That's why we have a mega server. We can have a good time. So definitely come and join us. Kids, doing good. Just playing some Valheim. Well, come join us, Warforged, this Saturday. Oh, he said it right there. Look forward to this Saturday. Now, we might take over next week, the entire week with Valheim. So keep that in mind as well. I'm putting that in my schedule as a full takeover. Sometimes I do that. Knocking that into place. I sometimes do that where I take over the entire stream for an entire week or longer. Where we just play one game. I know, crazy, right? Like back in the Fallout days and other days, we'll do it. And I feel like my crew is itching for an epic game, and so we'll do that. We'll probably do that with New World as well. And I highly recommend Valheim. Incredibly fun game. Remember, still in early access is one of the hottest things going right now. I just saw a feature by Twitch themselves of a bunch of people playing Valheim. I was watching Ko play it the other day. I didn't want to watch too much, though, because I didn't want to get it spoiled. But he was over there having some fun. He was in a boat traveling around and whatnot. Always love Ko over there. I've actually met him a few times in real life around there. He don't know me. I'm just some random stranger that said hi at some point. But I do appreciate Ko. I've been to some of his seminars too at TwitchCon, where just really phenomenal advice as a streamer on how to manage your mods and manage your stream and all of that stuff. Incredibly good from him. So very nice. Yeah. The old style game I'm talking about. Yeah, the old style WoW. Yeah, it doesn't really remind me of WoW. It's not really an MMO. It's more of a survival game. Hair Luna asking, is Valheim game that good? Yes, it's a buy. It's a buy. Buy it and come and do it. In fact, they're so awesome. They sent me a code to play it. I buzzed him again because peeps that always have my back. Alan Black, probably the top three that are always there. Alan has my back. Ro has my back, and Anon already bought it because he was playing with us on Wednesday. So I would have got him, tried to get him one too, or I would have bought him a copy. But I said to them on 7 Days to Die last Saturday, I said, hey, if you guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to contact them and see if I can get you a couple extra codes. If I can't get you a couple codes, I will buy it for you for always having my back in game. That's why you want to have my back, everybody. I hook people up. I'm telling you, I hook up my mods. I hook them up whenever I can. Or I'll just buy it for them and hook them up. And so they said, Kismet, we have a limited supply. And I thought they were going to say sorry. But they said, hell yeah, here you go, Kismet. Here you go. And they gave me a couple codes to give to them. So we're going to play some serious Valheim this weekend. And I'm going to give them the codes then so they're not busy playing it ahead of time and becoming pros at it. I do ask everybody to start a new character. Do not come in and be the everything person. Remember, everybody should feel like a vital part of the team. So some people collecting wood, some people building boats. I love to build the base and then build the house around it, though I'm going to let people build this next time and let them do it. But when I'm first playing a game, keep that in mind. I'm not trying to step on your feet or anything like that. But remember, I'm playing it for the first time in game. And also, I'm showing it to the stream at the same time. So don't just rush ahead and build all the biggest stuff. And like the great example is Ark, right? And that game has the potential problem of that Ark does. When you're a person who hasn't played Ark, and you play with people who've played Ark for thousands of hours, they're going to go in the game on their high-level character and say, look, here's a base, here's all the dinosaurs, here's all the best loot, here's all the stuff that you need to be epic in the game. And then, of course, you had no struggle. You had no fun. You had your journeys like about this long. The journey is always the most exciting thing for me in any game. So if you do come and join us, I do ask you to start a new character that you just play on our server. So we're all kind of leveling up together. Now, some people are going to be playing it when I'm not playing it, and they're going to be, way more knowledgeable, go way faster than me. And that's okay. I'm the leader. Here's the thing as the leader. You're usually busy doing a whole bunch of other stuff as the leader of a guild. You probably spend maybe 30% of your time, that's probably a high number, maybe 20% of your time actually playing the game. And then the rest of the 70 to 80% of the other time, you're managing the guild. You're, okay, this person needs this and that person needs help with this. If you're a good guild leader, if not, then you're a bad guild leader. You need to go in there and manage your people and put the right people in charge. And then like, okay, what does this guy need? And okay, you need to start. Oh, you've got a new guy coming in. Hold on, let me start a new character. We'll go run together. We'll have a fun time in the guild and whatnot. That kind of stuff is what you do as a guild leader. So my crew is max level. I'm still level 10. They max level. They got the legendaries. They got all the stuff because they got way more time to play than I do. I got streaming. I got doing videos and animations and, taking care of the wife and family as well. I got 3 daughters and a wife who I've been with for 28 years, everybody. Since with Valentine's Day was our 28th anniversary. It's pretty awesome. Is Valentine that good? Oh, yeah, it's a buy. It's an absolute buy. All the big streamers are playing it right now. I was playing it before they were. I was playing it before they were. But hey, they'll see. A lot of the big streamers, what they do is they play it because they play whatever's popular. So they'll play it for a week or 2 weeks or maybe a day or two, and then they'll just jump onto something else. Meanwhile, the rest of us will be playing it deep. We'll get into deep game mechanics and have a fun time. Have a fun time at it because they got to rotate between games to stay popular. Me, I don't care about all that clout and popularity and all that stuff. I play games because I enjoy them, and if I say I like them, I really do. That's because you always get it straight. And if I don't like a game, you'll never see it on my stream. I don't care if they come in and sponsor or whatever. It doesn't matter if I don't like a game. I'm not gonna highlight it here on the stream. That's just the way it is. Or maybe I just don't have the time. That could also be a problem. But I do get a lot of because thanks to all of you guys, I'm a partner streamer here on Twitch, so I do get a lot of offers to play a lot of games. I can't play them all. And some of them are really awesome, which I haven't got to yet, but I do have them in a list, and I try to roll them out. Like today, we're going to play some Factorio, even though Factorio's been out forever. Again, I've been busy playing Satisfactory and Fallout and a whole bunch of other games. You can only play so much. Okay, let's get some steel pipes before I forget. Over here, that's what I was doing. We want to leave enough room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still got to put some of this stuff back. Too much loot is always a wonderful problem to have. I love having too much loot. Let's see. Maybe some concrete we can put back. There we go. We're going to need some steel pipes. We probably have enough there, but we'll go ahead and grab a little bit more. Now, again, I don't need to make the item until I get there because I can make some of these. I can actually make this anywhere in the world, which is really cool. And then we're going to go ahead and make our portable miners here. I want to make sure that you can actually make them before you leave. I can make 54 of them right now. Probably going to be enough. Let's go for some hypertube rides. Let's go. Now I've got this all the way back to my main resources, which is where I'm going now. And we're going to start with our basics. Now watch, this is going to be real fun. Watch it. You get it here, and then it goes down to an underrun level. I call it the hanging hypertubes. So it runs you to that under level, and then it will bring you up onto the top part up here. Very cool. And then we can backtrack our lines here. Now that one goes across there, so we know where this one's going. This is why I have the glass, by the way, so I can see where the actual hypertube is going. You can see that one's going up and this one's going down. So I know where those are going, and I'm going to go ahead and take this. Now these are my original feed lines here that feed all of my original resources. Do you know that I built probably about 90% of this base on just 3 iron nodes, a single copper node, and then a combined amount of limestone over here. That's all you need, all the way up to the highest level. And then when you get up into that kind of tier 6, close to tier 7, then you definitely need to add more resources because you're going to be doing that other stuff like sulfur and cadmium and all of that. So here we are, way back at the beginning where we first started off. Well, we actually started off about 1,500 way out there in the desert. But I came over here and I realized there was up here, up above, I realized there was, of course, 3 pure coal nodes right next to water, right? Coal plus water goes into a coal plant equals power, right? And that's a lot of power that I'm producing here. One pure node is producing almost enough for as much as a nuclear power plant. It's about 1,800 power I'm producing, and my nuclear power plant does about 2,500. And that's awesome early game because that gives you lots of room to build and build and build. Let's keep going. We're going to go all the way back to our very first node that we established over here. Now, we did have some other nodes previously, but we abandoned those and came over here. And we're going to use our very first node right here, which is our iron. Now, our iron actually is a pure node. I'm going to mute that for a sec. This is a pure node. How do you know it's a pure node? Well, when you put a Mark II on there, it's going to double whatever it is, right? And so there's 3 levels of nodes. There's the coarse node, there is the normal node, and then the pure node. The coarse node is going to be like half the amount. It's going to be like 30. Then your normal node is going to be about 60. And then your pure node is 120. So when you put a Mark II as opposed to a Mark Mark II is then going to double that to 240. So what happens if we go in here and we go ahead and say, you know what, I want to make a Mark III and put that in there instead? Well, the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put our equipment in here. I'm going to turn the sound back on. We're going to need to make an equipment workshop. Now, I usually have some of these laying around, just kind of off to the side, wherever I can use them, wherever I need them in the long run. Unless it's early game. Early game, sometimes I'll pick them up just so I don't have to make that resource again, and I can build them elsewhere or use it for making stuff. All right, so there's 2, and there's 4. Now you're like, well, Kismet, you need 6, bro. I do, but see, this one is 2 right here. Now I highly recommend taking it out. Now why would I take it out? Well, the reason why I would take it out, and I've dropped some resources in the way, is because I'm going to get those 2 other ones back, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I also picked up the item, which is going to grab a bunch of that particular resource, in this case, frames and stuff. So let's go ahead and say, you know what? Let's just put a box right here. Let's put some of this stuff away. Like I got a lot of heavy modular frames there. And then we're going to pick this up here, and we're going to have a bit of ore there. Now, sometimes what happens, by the way, is that it gets messed up. We actually have all 6 of them now. It gets messed up where it drops it, and it doesn't quite get you all your resources back, or it might drop and then you don't recover it. But that worked out pretty good. And we're also got a lifter here, and then we got a line run, which is running around behind there. We'll do all that again here in a second. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into production Mark III miner, and then I'm going to rotate it in the same direction in which we had. And remember, it was 240 before. And there we go. One of the highest in items in the game, a Mark III extractor. We'll go ahead and look at it. Now it's 480. So not only does a Mark I double to 240, but it doubles it again, right? So everything that we have in the factory, my entire factory that you saw, I can now upgrade all of these nodes and build that entire thing from end to end, all the stuff that was making, say, the motors. I can take that whole thing and make a whole nother one again, right? So I can make all of that again by doubling these up or doubling and then doubling again, so 4 times as much as your original right here. Now, of course, we're going to need to upgrade these lines because these are level 3 lines, but that's going to be pretty easy. Because we can just go in, take this out right here, and we'll go ahead and put in our highest level lifters, which are level 5 lifters. These actually lifters go at 780, so they go faster than this machine can go. But you can overclock it as well, so we can go ahead and overclock this at a higher speed. If you have plenty of power, overclocking your extractors is a great way to not have to go get more and more resources. Just overclock them, and then you're producing at 200% again. So I can produce at 250% of what I'm producing right now. And you're like, oh, Kismet, man, you got to do that. All right, let's go do it. Let's go grab our, oh, wait, that's going the wrong way. Let's go up here. Let's go ahead and grab some of our boosters, and we're going to come back, and we're going to do that at 250%. That one extractor there. And again, we can go around and do that in every single one, right? We got our limestone there, our copper, especially you got a pure node, and you're going at 250%. And you're like, well, Kismet, how much power do you have going? Well, a great way to tell your power is to pull down a line like this, run that down in there, and then go in here and look at how much power. Right now, I'm using about 4,600. How much do I have? 18,000. Yeah, 18,000 power I'm using, right around 4,500. Right, so a lot of headroom there, right? So this line here is the top, is my current power running, and this is how much is being used at the bottom. You can see I can build my entire factory I've got again, and then again. So we can build 3 times the size of the factory that's currently running right now. And again, getting that power squared away is one of the funnest things in the game. Is getting that squared away so you're never worried about power. Now you can actually do power in segments as well, so you can just do it on that factory that you're working on way off in the distance, and then connect all your factories together by hypertubes or by trains. It's going to be very, very fun to see what happens when we go multiplayer on this. I'm only playing a single player game right now. When we go multiplayer on the mega server, so one person's off working on one thing, I'm working on this, and we're coordinating it all and building gigantic massive mega bases. And of course, I built this all myself, which is a lot of fun. I do love to build, so I can just do this all day, every day. That is for sure. Again, we're going to work our way back. Now, look how much faster it is when you use your hypertubes, man. Your hypertubes are so incredibly helpful. Because, again, I don't have to do nothing. I just get in the hypertube and take hands off, right? Oh. And there we go. So, yeah, highly recommend it. Now you hear my hammer. Yeah, sometimes I turn off the sound. Thanks. We'll look into the game. Oh, yeah, Hairloot. I would definitely take a look at it. It's on Steam right now. And they just, they came out with it and they thought they would have a modest launch. Maybe 500,000 or 1 million. Well, they got 500,000 and they got 1 million and now they got 2 million. They doubled up the million as well. That in itself should tell you. It's a really fantastic game. It is overwhelmingly positive on Steam. It's like 13,000 reviews the last time I looked. That was last week. I would imagine it has probably a lot more. Let's go see. It's on the home page of the Steam, by the way. Yeah, it's one of the hottest things going right now. Let's see. Oh, man. So it went from 13,000 overwhelmingly positive to 44,000 reviews as overwhelmingly positive. Highly recommend it. Fun little game. If you love survival games, 7 Days to Die, Ark, Rust, all of that. Get in there with your friends or come join me on the mega server. In fact, you're like, Kismet, I want to get my own mega server. Hey, look, I'm going to hook you up no matter what. You can come play on my server. You can go get your own server. In fact, if you drop my name, it's the only time it's okay to drop names. You can drop my name, get 10% off your server. Go over to Nitrado. They're the best, bro. They always have my back. They're the types of peeps. You go over there, you set up your server. They're like, we got you back. What you just let us know what you need. You go onto Discord, say, hey, or you go onto their support, say, hey, we need some help, and bam, they got you back. That's what I love about Nitrado. Wow, that's a huge increase, isn't it? Yeah, that's just getting started, bro. That's just getting started. Now, over here, usually where I keep my boosters right here, we might have to go on an adventure. We can't find our boosters. We might have to go find ourselves some worms. Oh, there's some in here. All right, okay, we can make some right there. We're going to take our little wormies out of there, and we're going to go ahead and make a bunch more right over here. Now, of course, different level worms, like this one right here is 5. This one right here is 5 of these because the purple one equals 5. So it's very easy. You just find one of the purple ones. Well, it's not that easy because they're among the hardest ones to find. But there you go. And then we'll go ahead and get these ones, which are just 1. That's more than enough. That's 7 of them right there. That's more than enough for what we need. Let's go. Now this one actually goes down to that lower level down here, which I always find fun. To set up a whole bunch of them in different ways. Some of them go down into my power. Some go wherever, but also you go very vertical. Back up again. They're dual directions. So, if you go in the wrong one, you go in the other one. I didn't actually mean to go in that one. I realized it the second I went in there. That's why I usually have the glass in the front. It tells me which one's which. This one's going to go that way. Notice that one goes over there. And then stops at that level and goes down. I like to leave little stop points. So I can get off and then work here if I want, or I can just keep running and whatnot down the way. So let's go boost this and see what the maximum amount of extraction you can do out of one pure node, in this case iron. Now, a lot of the stuff they do in this game, all the numbers are balanced, right? They're balanced for a reason, and you'll see why when we get over here. They do go and look at the speed of this and the speed of that, and they try to optimize all those speeds together. And so that is a little foreshadowing about what we're about to do, because I already know the answer. I already know the answer over here. All right, so let's go ahead and put all of this in here. Let's go ahead and overclock these. Now, it's got no power right now, so what we want to do, though, is we want to make sure we got this running. Let's go ahead and run this around the corner again with 5. We're going to go ahead and again, we're running it at our fastest speed. Right there. That's going to be 780. Using our level 5 lifters and our level 5 belt. And of course, we'll have to upgrade everything between here and where we're sending it to get it going. Now, we need some power because we took it out and put it back. We have some power line right over here. Tap into our power. Watch it fire up. And I know some of you who get triggered are like, Kismet, it's going into the foundation and everything. It's not on the ground. Just RP in that you cut a hole there. It's going down like any other drill, like an oil drill would go down, and you put another pipe on it, it goes down, another pipe would go on it. And that's just RPing yourself. It can't make every single thing for every single combination. The game would never get done. All right, so there we go. We got it spinned up. Now, how much is it collecting? 1,200 ore. 1,200. Hey, Siri, what's 1,200 divided by 2? 1,200 divided by 2 is 600. She didn't say anything. It's 600. So I would need to split this into 2 separate lines because it's collecting so much ore. I couldn't even run it on a single line on the fastest line in the game, which is your tier 5s. Now, if you do add mods, they do have ones that go faster than 780, which is the one that I'm running right now. But if I did split it, I could run 2 Mark 5 lines, and I'd basically be extracting. I'd be going from 120 all the way up to that maximum speed, which is 1,200, which is basically 10 times the amount of the original, right? Because you add an extra 0 when you're doing 10 times. So it's basically 10 times the speed of your original. Now, it does come at a cost, though, because when you are overclocking, and I'll go ahead and underclock this. I'll go ahead and clock it back to 100% here. I can also type it in here, or I can type it into how many parts per minute I want. If I want, say 684, for no reason other than me just making up a random number, you can actually type that in too. But we're going to type this to 100% right here and wait for it to fire up again. There we go. Now notice it went from 30 megawatts, and then you crank it all the way up. Again, all these numbers are kind of synced to be kind of in sync with each other. So we're going to boost it. Now it went from 30 megawatts to 130 megawatts. So again, about 100 more extra megawatts there. So it basically exponentially went way up versus your original. And if you don't have a lot of power, that makes a big difference. But as you can see, 1,200. Now, do I need to go search out more resources and do all of that? No, I can just do this now, double up on my factory, and basically build a whole nother factory again. But then if I boost them all, I can build another one and another one. That's right, 4 times the amount I'm currently using. Because remember, we were only using this at 240, right? So now we've gone from 240 to 480. 480 times 2, roughly about 1,000, and then a little extra to do it maybe 5 times the amount that we originally started off now. And you're like, Kevin, what do you mean 5 times your base? Well, let's go back and take a little peek at my base. Now, again, I'd have to go and upgrade all these lines and do all of that. I'm not going to do that in this playthrough, but you get the general idea. And I'm kind of waiting for all that stuff until we get multiplayer servers so that I just don't do everything and run all the lines and do all that. I'm saving stuff. I'm saving stuff for later when we will do all of that and run that at that high speed. But if you're talking about my factory, let me just go give you a little bird's eye view. And then we're going to switch over to some Factorio and play that for the first time. First I'll take a break, though. First I'm going to take a break. So let's do it. That's a huge increase, right, here, Luna? Yeah. A lot of big increase. Again, remember that I still have, and again, with that boost, I'm now at 4,700 power. Again, I have 18,000. And again, 18,000 seems like a lot in the moment right now, but I have seen some factories that are using 20, 30, 40, 50,000 power. Yeah, those are big factories. You have no limit to the point of what you can build, especially if you encapsulate stuff into buildings where you're not seeing it, right? So your graphic card doesn't have to redraw it all. Now remember, this whole part here, all of this, all the way down, over that way. Let's go run into the middle of it. Actually, let's get our car out and go for a little ride. Let's go for a little ride around the factory. All this here, all that over there, all of this down here, all that running on that side, all the stuff running over there, over there. I'm also including, by the way, all the resources that are being used over here and whatnot. Now, obviously, it's not going to affect our oil because we're not, you can't upgrade your oil extractors. All of that would stay the same. But everything that we're doing on this side of the factory here, and then, of course, any raw resources that we're extracting also affects our aluminum. It affects our uranium power that we're doing. All of this right here times 5. So you take that, build it again, take it, build it again, take it, build it again, take it, build it again. 5 times the power, 5 times the amount of resources right there. Now let's also run up here again. Speaking of other resources that we're doing, let's run up here. I'll give you the full tour here. Maybe we'll take some trains to go look at all of our train areas as well. Now again, I can keep on building it up. But again, I want to leave something to do with my crew. We'll do that really huge building later on as well. Now over here, this is our aluminum. We'll take a little peek at the aluminum run here, as well as our coal power, which is still working today, still helping us. There we go, some coal power down there as well. And we're running this water right there. We're running that up, and it's running up into this top part here. Whee! Pick up our vehicle so we don't walk off without it. And it's being run up here into my aluminum from way down there. You see we've got the Mark II things. They've added faster pipes. They're at 600 instead of 300. Or more larger pipes, larger quantity pipes, as well as also larger pumps, which can pump it a further distance because you have that head lift, you know, when you're going, especially when you're going straight up. But you have a head lift a certain distance that it can push the water before it can't go any further. And then our aluminum here, hold on, I gotta wait for him to do the thing. Now again, imagine aluminum times 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We could build it out that way or whatever. We could double this up, triple it up, quadruple it up. Why don't we make an aluminum like crazy? Now remember, this whole entire aluminum is going to get revamped, and also we're going to get tier 7 as well. Oh, let's get on the train. Let's go on the train, everybody. Now this train right here is bringing bauxite in here, which works with my aluminum. Now again, I could go over here, take the bauxite from whatever it is, which is most likely 240 right now, crank it up to 480, and then crank it up to 1200, and be extracting at that higher rate, which means I wouldn't have to go find another node. Now, it's really about convenience. Whenever you're boosting something, it's about convenience that you don't have to go and find another node and run another line and do all of that stuff. You can just use that single line to keep on running it. Now, here it is, as far as it goes, right to there. And again, we'll take the full tour of the base. We're going to do that battle here after we're done with the tour. Just a bit, you can see it's extracting from down there. Let's get over here so you can see it. Right down there, it's extracting it, bringing it up, across here into the actual train station. Then it's loading. Oh, there it goes. It's loading that into there, and so on. We're going to run down the way here. I'm going to switch my set down here and create myself a little train. My own personal train. We're going to go down the rest of the way. Now, as you can see, we've got some nuclear power. Now, nuclear power is one of the highest end things in the game. Requires a lot of resources. Ghost ride it. It stops at the end automatically. As you can see, we're bringing a lot of resources. These are all pure nodes, by the way. You can see we're bringing in all of those resources down the line. Now, a lot of that stuff I could have combined into a single line and then did what we did, and that's use the Mark III, and then, of course, boost it to 1200, and then you would not need so many lines, right? You could definitely condense all these lines down. You could also run all of the stuff on a single line and then have it sort into the appropriate place. We were going to build a mega sorter, but maybe we'll do that next time. Basically, we could sort it even if it is mixed on a certain line. So one would go here, the other would go there. This is coal, that goes that way, this goes that way. You can do that as well. One of the things that does happen, though, if you have too much of any given resource, it'll start to backlog and mess up all your sorting. So watch out for that as well. Watch out for that. But as you can see, it's up here running, and it's going through different stages of production. So it's collecting some wire. That wire and the pipes are then going here, which are making the stators. The stators are then going forward, and those stators are then making our electromagnetic control rods. Those are going in there. Those are running underneath. Now, before we go any further, we need to make sure that we do have our outfit. No, we took it off. We do have our outfit to go into the radiation zone because we're going to get radiated beyond a certain point. And that's why I have these walls here because if I step past those, oh, I'm already there. See the radiation? So I'm taking damage right over here if I get too close. But over there, it's extracting a bunch of uranium, converting that uranium, and then running that uranium into various stages. And those stages, oh, there's more radiation right there. And that is, of course, running to our awesome nuclear power over there. So we got that going. So very, very cool. Let's go ahead and take our train out. Now, they don't have train collision right now, so I can't take my train out. Turn it around the other way. You can also back up your train, too, if you want. Going this way is faster. Now, eventually, they're going to add more to trains. They're going to add collisions and all of that. Look at this. We can look down there. Our extractor coming through. That train's already off and running. Really, that is pretty much the extent of this particular part of the factory. We have 2 other parts that we're going to check out real quick, and then we're going to do that battle, and then we're going to take a break. Ghost ride it. Again, see, they don't collide; they just go through each other. I'm sure they'll add that maybe in the next update, update 4. Okay, so down below you can see I've got all my line runs, which we talked about earlier. You can see them running all the lines all over the place. You can see them. There we go. You see it being lifted from down there into the upper part, into my upper base up there. I like to have my base way up like this, and the reason why is because my trains can go above everything else. I love to have that train level, and then the train level brings it down, like over here. This is my space elevator, which at some point in the game you no longer need. Like, I don't need it right now because there's nothing else that I'm sending up there. But when they add the tier 7 and the 8, then we'll come back and we'll check it out. Locomotive coming in right over here, bringing in some oil. We'll go look at our oil. And then I think I left the track along the outside. I think I did. And then we can take the track along the outside and look at, take a look at my other resources. Off goes the train. Now we can wait around for the train, or we can just make a train and take our own train, which is great about this game. Let's do it. Now that one right there again is facing that direction. They're coming around. You definitely want both things to be going in the same direction when you're doing a loop train. That's what this is. Isn't this awesome? It's so cool, bro. This game is so amazing. Absolutely love playing it. And again, I don't want to go look at everything and do everything. I want to bring my crew in, and then we'll all be somewhat experienced in the game, but we wouldn't have done everything in the game. And then we'll build out a big mega base and have a good time. For sure, for sure. I always like to leave stuff for us to do. There you go. And, oh, actually, while we're on the train, we can do this battle. Hold on. Let's get this battle going. Get that battle fired up. We want to try as many battles in as we can, but sometimes, obviously, I'm in the middle of something. Something. Turn that sound off while we're battling. Oh, blowing it up. This is a long train ride. Haven't gotten there yet. Still going. In fact, I'll go ahead and stop here before we get into the station. All right, open the captain chest, grab some rewards. Let's see. Taco. Oh, look at those epic scrolls. Taco, Trace, and Subi getting some extra scrolls. And Lawn Man MVP that round with 7 assists. Oh, another boss down, everybody. God, what tier are we on now? 42. Oh, we going for the blue chest. We know where we're going. Doesn't matter which way we go there. Path of least resistance right through there. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see. We got to use bombers to get our quest done. So I'm going to grab my little volatile bomber. I'm going to blow some peeps up with it. Oh, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. He's going to run in there and going to blow that up. Come and join me, everybody. Free-to-play game called Stream Raiders. We're going to have some fun playing that. Now, here we are coming into the other station. If we look down there, you can see all my oil extraction being pumped all the way over here to the station, then being pumped up to here. So we're going to take a quick look. Oh, there's another train coming in. You can see my train comes in, turns around, and then ends up right here. Now we're going to go past there just a little bit. You can also hold down S to slow down and press spacebar to do the brake. If we don't want to ghost ride it, pick it up so we can make another train later. There we go. Now down here, you can see I've got lots of oil being extracted. Now this area is massive amount of oil. You can see I've tapped just about everything. And I'm running it up here. It's about 1,200 oil being run up to here with a lot of oil. You can see it off down there in the distance. These are the line runs right here. In fact, let's go for it. Whee! Oh my goodness, that's a long way down. Look at all that extraction over there. Oh God, we're all gonna die. Jetpack. There we go. So we've got, of course, a bunch being run from over there. Some of these are normal nodes, some of these are pure nodes. These do not have upgrades, by the way, yet. They might add upgrades to them later. But these are already going at their max speed. And you can see I'm running a line there, and that's tapping into one line. And then we have a second line coming in because the maximum speed of these particular pipes is 600. And you can see we're pumping it in there. We got 600 going up and 600 going up, nicely organized. You're like, well, Kismet, how are you going to get the heck back up there, bro? Hypertubes. Hypertubes are our stuff right here. Let's do it. Let's do this hypertube action. And again, I've tapped all that oil, so I could use that oil for power and for making rubber and all the other stuff that it's making. Now, one of the things that I always talk about here in the stream is setting it and forgetting it. You set it up, you let it run. While I'm busy showing off the rest of the base here, you know what's happening? Back there in my base, it's making me tons of stuff right now. I don't have to worry about it. Look at that. Look at that. That is a vertical if I've ever seen one. I built that, by the way. I built a switchback ramp, which we actually learned in this playthrough that use a landing, right, a flat foundation, and then 5 up, and then another landing, and then you do a switchback, and then 5 up, landing, switchback. So we made perfect switchbacks all the way up. That helped us actually run our pumps up to here. Now, there is another line that I originally used. Whoa, look out. There is another line that I originally used here that I cut off because I wanted to run it this way because we tested it. We went one way and we went the other way, and we tested which one was shorter. This one's shorter by about 30 seconds. Now, 30 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but it does when you run it 100 or 1,000 times, which that particular thing's going to do. That'll make a difference in the long run of the thing. Now, this particular one has no power right now. And so what we can do, by the way, you can have multiple lines running off the same line. You can split them. Now, how do I get power in there? Well, I don't have to run a power line. All I need to do is merge this as part of the current line, right? Now, this one's going to come through that way, so that one's going to be just fine. And that'll work just fine right there, and it will never stop. I can also say that this one has priority by switching it. They're going to actually make more stuff for trains, a whole bunch of stuff for trains as well. But let's go ahead and tie in there so we got power, because it actually runs power along the actual tracks. Very important to know that, so you don't have to run a whole bunch of power poles. You just run a bunch of train tracks, and it does all your electric power. Now we're going to go ahead and run along the outside. You're like, Kismet is floating. I know it's floating. In our next playthrough, we're going to do it just with supports. We're not going to build anything that doesn't have an actual support as we go along, and we'll set what the precedent of supports are, say 10, 12, you know, whatever it is. Whatever we feel like doing. All right, so let's backtrack along here. We can just take a little bird's eye view, the outside edge of the map. And we can see down there that we've got a bunch of lines run, a bunch of power lines and whatnot run down for our oil. Now, we could run the train down there too if we want. I like the train to be up here because it's way up above everything else. And you can see that we've also got some lines being run up down below there, and that's probably a good spot right here. Now, also up here on the top, by the way, a lot of this stuff isn't finished yet. They're still working on it. Like this stuff, you know, you'll see just it's just blank or flat. They're still working on a lot of the top parts of the map as well. So don't worry, it's early access. They're still working on it. Now, right down here, we have some other extraction that we can see. And so we're just going to yeet off the top. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeeting off the top, everybody. Oh, no, jetpack. And you can see right here, we've got another oil extractor along with those other ones that we do. This is a great way to get started right here. Grab this oil and then get your base started. Then you come back, you tap in all that other oil that we just saw. But I also, of course, made it easy on myself by adding some hypertubes. that I can go ahead and travel on. See, it's just grabbing that oil and running that oil back to my base. Now, normally what I do is I actually build the resource that I need at the node and not run the oil separately. But since you can run it basically at 600 now, it makes it a lot easier for us to run that oil wherever we want. Now, this particular oil is running up and stopping right there. I can see that it is stopped because we're going to come back later and tap it and run it up into the thing. But we found so much oil, we don't even need it. But there you go. All right, let's go ahead and take another ride on the way back here. And we'll look down. Now, again, there's just nodes for days. There's so many ore nodes out there that probably I'm only tapping maybe less than half of 1%. And I've made it to the end of the game because I understand the game mechanics. So I was extracting some limestone there. That's a pure limestone node. This right here is the third area over. And really what happens at this particular area is that you find 3 of these, what is it? It's the third selection over. It's the advanced start. You find 3 iron ones that are pure nodes. Then you look over here. Wait, there's another one. So that's 4 pure iron nodes right at the very beginning of the game because it sends you here. It sends you to this particular spot. Now, way off in the distance over there, copper pure node. This is one of my favorite places to start, though you do need to build more vertically because you don't have a lot of flat space like you do sometimes in the forest and whatnot or the desert. But you know, building vertically, you know, you just learn how to do that as you go. And then all of these pure nodes are being extracted and then being run back, and I'm utilizing them all right now. Look at this. Look at this. And then what happens is I start doubling them up down here. So not only do we got the top, these are all pure nodes at the top, we also got the bottom iron pure nodes as well. So we got 3 down there. We got 1 up here. Limestone is pure node and the copper is a pure node. And so we're just running all of this back toward our main primary base. Now, what we could have done is we could have used trains, right? To train this from place to place. Now, I find that trains are a lot harder because you don't know what your rate is always. It depends on distance. It depends on how much of a backlog you've done of that particular resource. But you can end up where you have no idea how much it's running down that line. Now, I know these are all 240s, but they could be running at 780 or 1200. All of them. All 6 of those at 1200. These 2 as well. 1200. I could be running them right now because they're all pure nodes. So I know they will max out at 1200. Which I think is pretty awesome if you think about it. After you understand those game mechanics, you understand how to do power and all of that. You can really crank along here. I'm using my conveyors to go a little faster. Yeah, how you can just pull on, get that going on. And then my conveyors kind of launch me a little bit. And then we get all the way to the top here. Now we have more extraction being done over here. Down there, that's extracting my, I think that's my sulfur there. We got cadmium extraction over here as well. Right down there. And that's coming up and being fed into this underline. And it all meets up right here. There it goes. Cadmium and sulfur right there. We've got this, which is quartz. We got all of those pure nodes that we're running. So we got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 nodes just coming from that area, not counting the original area where we originally came from. Pretty crazy. Let's use the new ladders. If you haven't seen the ladders are awesome. Will allow us to climb right up here. And we'll make one final hypertube, hanging hypertube run. Look at this. I love how it hangs down. You can see all the under part of it. And the thing, of course, which is the Rosetta Stone of this entire base, is right down here. The thing that we started with, we knew that we were going to build our base here the second that we saw it. We'll run down there using this hypertube. That is the coal right here. See, that's a pure node. That's a pure node, and that's a pure node. You have 3 pure nodes. Now, if I were to boost these, 1200, 1200, 1200. So that means that this one could go at basically about 5 to 6 times what we're doing right now. And that means that my coal power could be 5 times this. I could build this 5 more times. Now, could I really build it 5 more times? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I could take it out of the water and just put the water in there and build it up to the higher level and build 5 times that. I could build them for days. I could run for lines. But I also have more room if I really wanted to right over here to just keep building it out and building it out. One of the greatest spots in the game, I think. Incredibly phenomenal spot. I call it the Tycoon Crater. There it is. Look at that. We got Fred walking around down there. So that's it, everybody. That is the mega base. That is our underfed, where we ran all of our lines into the main area of our mega base. Let's get down into the nitty gritty down here. This is one of my favorite builds for coal power. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful how it's all run? I got all the pipes run beautifully. We've got a redundant backlog, even though we could upgrade those now to the larger ones. This is all running that water up into there, having a backlog in case we lose power from our pumps here, and then it runs down into our factory parts here. Very, very awesome. One of my favorite builds I've done. I love the way that coal power worked out. Very, very nice. All right, up we go again. To the top part here. Man, that just took a while just to take a tour of the base. It was so big. Okay. Now we also have another train line that runs way out and grabs some oil. You might have seen it go by a few times while I was working on that other stuff. It's the first train line I set up for bringing that oil in, which runs our power, creates plastic, all sorts of stuff. Let's go take a look at where that's at. I'm not going to run all the way out there because we got to switch over. But let's just take a look. Right over here. There's that line. That line runs way out over there. It grabs that oil along this line here and grabs the oil back, puts it in there. So all this stuff down here, all this power and all of this stuff can be done. And this one's doing the same thing, grabbing more oil up above. I find oil is typically the thing that's furthest away from your base, the thing that you have to spend time doing. Oh, something popped up. It's got a notification of something. I like how it pops up with a notification, then I don't have any clue what that notification was, because it doesn't stay in my notifications. Thanks for that notification that I don't know. What the heck? Hold on, let me see if I can find out what that notification was. Oh God. Microsoft designs poor products. Oh well, whatever. All right, there we go. So now you can see it running. You can see the train going. All right, yeah, there it goes. So grabbing all of that, and that's pretty much it. We've unlocked everything we can do in the game. We've done the highest end. Now we just want to take a peek at our kind of turbo motors, because again, we've been busy doing all of this. Meanwhile, it's been doing its job down here, right? It's been doing its job, which is to take all the resources and all the stuff. Whoa, look at me go. Whoa, whoa. Those Hyper 2s launch you out of there, and you can use your jetpack to really have some fun. So again, all of this work, all this stuff we've done has gotten us to this moment, which is the highest thing in the game. Turbo motors, we have 50, we have plus another stack, we have 94 of them right now. 94. Now again, remember, for every 5 you can double up, triple up your extractors. So I could literally go out right now and upgrade 10 of those extractors. And so each of those extractors would have 1,200 extraction if I put boosters on them. And there's plenty of little worm, glowy worms around, which I haven't even collected. They're everywhere, all over the place, that I go around and collect, and then I would be having 1,200. And I have more than enough power to do it as well. Now we're going to come back and we're going to do those kind of mega builds on our private server when we get that going, and I'm going to invite you to come join us. All right, you're welcome to come join us when we get that private server going, once they add private servers. But that's it for this particular segment of Satisfactory. We're going to go ahead and go on the train. I think we're going to take some more train ride. Oh, actually, you guys already took a ride out there earlier. That's right. Let's go ahead and get on this train here, and you guys can see that last part. And hang out in the train while I go ahead and take a quick break. And then we're going to switch over to Factory O, and we're going to do Learn to Play. If you're a Factory O master, I want to know all about it. I want you to backseat game all you want. You can tell me, Kismet, do this, or Kismet, try that, or Kismet, do the other thing, right? We kind of flip it, which is unusual, because when I'm doing my primary games, I ask people not to tell me things about the game, so we make mistakes and learn as we go. And then we flip it the other way, where you can tell me all you want, just so you can get it out of your system. All right? I'll be right back, everybody. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, big mistake. Freezing out there. I went out there without my jacket on, and I just run into downstairs. I have to go outside to go downstairs. I know it sucks. So I run outside, and it is absolutely freezing. It's below freezing out there. It's like 20 degrees right now, and the flurries are coming down. I'm thinking, should have got my jacket. So I ran downstairs, check on the puppy dog. See what she's doing. So I ran outside too, and that was a foolish idea. To go down the garage as well. Okay, I'm back. That's a buster, not a bomber, Kismet. Oh, did I put the wrong one down? That's a classic Kismet move. Let's see. Oh, that is a buster. Hold on, let me go look. Oh, yeah, a bomber's the one that throws the bomb. The buster's the one that blows up as a bomb. Ah, my bad, my bad. Well, at least someone's paying attention. It doesn't matter. I'm the captain. I'm here to get you guys tons of loot. It's not going to get me any more loot, other than, of course, getting that going on. At least their place doesn't have a snowstorm. Yeah, some people in the chat say they got like a foot, 2 foot of snow. I'm like, yeah, count me out for that. Some people have it so high it's above their cars. Yeah, 4 or 5 feet of snow where they're at. That's why I'm not there. I don't do that. Kismet, don't do that. I don't. No. Count me out. There's that oil production right there, being pulled from down below there. You can just see it in between there. There it is, being pulled from down there. We'll take a ride back here, then we'll switch over to some Factory for a few hours, and then we're going to call a little bit early today and head out. And then I'm going to rest, because I got a whole bunch of other stuff I got to work on later on. We got 17 seconds left on this battle. Maybe it'll be at the perfect time, right when we get back to the station. Let's see. All right. Yeah, you guys got any snowstorms where you're at? Let me know in the chat. All right, good timing, good timing. Let's get up here. Right like that. All right, let's go ahead and start this battle. Boom. There's a small storm, not too heavy. All right, awesome. Yeah, we just got some flurries. Well, holy mackerel, it's like 20 degrees out there. With the wind chill factor, it's probably about 25, but it feels like 20, which in Fahrenheit, for all you Celsius people, that's about 8 below zero. Just because people watch me from all over the world. So, yeah, so all you Celsius peeps, it's below zero right now. Again, I'm from the U.S. We use Fahrenheit, but I know both of them, so there you go. I try to learn all I can in life. Subi, Powerman, Riverdog, and the Fats coming in, getting some extra love, and Subi, MVP again. Nice job, Subi. All right, let's keep going. We're trying to go here. Don't know if we're going to make it, but we're... Oh, wait, no, let's go high side. High side's going to get us another chest. Yeah, no, let's go that way. Get you guys some love there. Okay. That was not my bomber. This is my bomber right next to that guy right here. All right, now we're going to use a bomber. Got to use the correct. Of course, that's the second it won't let me put it down. Come on the thing. There we go. All right, now we got it. I should have looked and see if it clicked in. That would have been an obvious thing to look at. That's a little side game we played called Stream Raiders. Super fun. And okay, we're gonna call that there. We're gonna save this game as GG. GG right there. All right, confirmed, saved, awesome. All right, now everybody, we're going to go ahead and play another awesome game, which I've never played before, though I have watched lots of people play it before. Really dig it. Awesome game called Factory. It was gifted to me. I do appreciate the gift of it. I think it was Riverdog that gifted it to me, if I remember correctly, or JC Hunter, or one of those. I've got them. I get them all mixed up. It was sleep apnea for you. But I do appreciate the gift, and so if you gift it to me on Steam or whatever, I'm going to most likely play it on stream. And so we're going to check it out. So let's go ahead and go to my office, and we'll go take a look at some Factorio. Let's go. Hey everybody, Kismet here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right in the center of the screen. Also check me out live on twitch.tv/Kismet. I'll see you all next time.